Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another tech support. It is Friday, July the 14th, 2017. And we've got some hot questions from people we're going to assume are also hot. We're going to give them hot answers.
Are you assuming their hotness?
I'm gonna say, as long as we assume on the positive end of that scale, we're probably safe. We're probably safe. Gentlemen, how was that break? Was it great for you? It's great for me.
It's good. I went upstairs. I was like, let me see if the wife is sleeping. Let me see if I'm going to get some sexy time tonight, and passed out.
10 out of 10.
UJizz.com. Here I come.
You could always just go stick it in the back end of your new car.
I got 4 pipes to choose from too.
Yeah, not
so
very
many options.
Places you can find that many options. The utility is strong. So what do we got for questions this week, ladies? What do we got?
I gotta put on my glasses.
We only got 11 on here today. Well, disappointed in the patrons.
Terrible. Only 11 questions. I think we can probably live with 11. Let's see here. Let me load up. Load up mine.
All right,
you got one?
Panic?
Hit us up.
Yep, I'm going with Senzu Bean's question.
Okay.
It is, can you play any musical instruments? Do you have any musical talent? And what made you get started? What instrument would you like to learn or even master? And does this have any direct relation to your favorite genre of music?
Okay. Wow. Mr. Black?
All right. If I had to pick a musical instrument to learn and master, it would definitely be the piano. Love the piano. I just love the piano. It just sounds great. It's sexy. I feel like there is just about at any type of music or any type of mood, there is room for the piano. I mean, unless you're like in some sort of heavy metal type angry shit, I guess.
You can do angry piano.
I know you can. And you can put some, some hardcore Tourette's type shit in there. But I feel as though just about in every other genre, it can just, it's just sexy, man. I have to go with that. So yeah, can I play the piano?
On the car.
No, I can't really play the piano. There's a few tunes I can play, and I'd like to consider myself musically talented in some way. I have a good ear for music, but I never devoted my time to mastering an instrument. I feel as though if I did, I could get good pretty quick, but I've tried a few times, and it's such a slow process, and I hate knowing that I suck so much and I have so much to learn that it just kind of deters me from continuing learning. And then I just end up forgetting what I learned, and it's the vicious cycle. But I do appreciate a good pianist. So there's that.
I thought you were gonna say you enjoy or appreciate a good penis, and then that took a
that too.
We know he does. We know he does. How about you, Adam?
You? Oh, me. Okay. Well, we'll do. Okay.
I asked the question. So.
Yeah. So I played a 1 year period of piano when I was younger, and didn't love it all that much. So I stopped. Mostly it was my parents like, hey, you should learn to play the piano. And I was like, I really don't feel like playing the piano all that much. But I was kind of interested in it, and I had a really good teacher and whatnot, but I just couldn't get into it enough to want to practice enough. And if you don't practice in any instrument that you play, unless you're like some sort of savant, then you just don't progress at a pace to the point where you kind of, like a bike, like anything, you learn an instrument enough, and you can go back to it almost like you're riding a bike. Like you might not smash it out of the park, but you can do the basic stuff I never got
Those
that
skills
far
go
with
away real fast.
I never got good enough with the piano that that would be the case. So then I moved on, and in school when I was in band, I played the trumpet, and I really enjoyed playing the trumpet. That was pretty fun because we did a lot of jazz stuff. It wasn't like and big band stuff, which was fun for the trumpet. The trumpet is always the trumpet gets a lot of the fun roles in big band stuff. You get to have a lot of fun on it, so that was kind of nice, and I really enjoyed it. But again, I couldn't lock myself down to practicing. I played lead trumpet in the band, but I actually did not play the trumpet unless I was in band class, and it drove our band teacher batshit. Because she was like, you're so, she cursed at me one day. She also went to a psychiatric ward for a while, so she wasn't entirely there anyway. Jeff, you remember Miss Manton, I'm sure. You must remember Miss Manton from, okay, so yeah. So so I shouldn't say she went to a psych ward, but she did take an very extensive leave.
She's crazy. She's crazy.
She was great
She's
musician
out there.
though. So she's like, you're so fucking good, but you don't practice. Just go home and practice. And I was like, but I just hate it. I just hate practicing. I'd rather play video games. And that's exactly what I did, is I played video games instead of playing the trumpet. And so as soon as band was over and I left school for move on to high school, I didn't join high school band. I left that shit behind, and that was it. I really wanted to play drums, but I can remember I can remember in the system here when you're doing band at school, they start you in grade 6, so before you even enter in junior high when you first start doing band stuff. And they will bring a bunch of instruments in, if you're interested, and you'll play a bit of all of them with people there, like mentors and stuff, and see what you're kind of, you lean towards naturally. Like, what do you have an affinity for it? And the trumpet and the clarinet and the drums were the 3. And I really wanted to play the drums. And I took home this yellow sheet that had the mark off from the advisors that said, drums, trumpet, clarinet in that order. And I took that home to Mom, and she was laying in bed. It was at nighttime. I had to get her to sign off on one of those 3. And she looked at it. She was like, oh, drums. And I was like, yeah, I really want to play the drums. And she was like, where are we going to put the drums? I was like, in the rec room downstairs, I guess. I don't know. They're not that big. She's like, I don't know, they're big and they're kind of loud, and the trumpet would be really cool though. And I was like, oh, I'm getting played right now.
You got played by your mama.
At the end of the day, she was buying the shit, so I had to go with the trumpet. And I did enjoy the trumpet a great deal, but I always kind of wished that I had been able to do the drums. So years later, I just kind of played for fun over at a buddy's place who's a prolific drummer, and had him just teach me some rudimentary stuff and played for fun. But I totally, that's the thing that I fit into the most is the drums. I keep time well. I'm like if I'd done enough cocaine in my early childhood, this is true. If I had done enough coke in my early childhood, I probably would have turned into Keith Moon. Like that kind of drummer. The drummer that you don't actually know what the fuck is going on, but it sounds good anyway. You're just fucking giving it. There's no friggin'... You're on time, but there's no pattern to what's happening. You're just on there, and you're coked out, and you're sweating bullets, and you're just fucking, like, smashing shit, and it sounds good. So if I could pick one, I'd definitely go with the drums. What about you, Panic?
I did violin for about 2 years. Didn't really like it. My parents loved it. I was not a fan of the violin at all. It was very much like you. I would only play in class. I would very little practice at home. There was actually a point where I forgot that I had a concert and didn't go. Like this was elementary school, and just didn't work out for me. I did about 2 years of the piano. I really loved playing the piano. I was halfway decent at it, but then we moved, and my parents never got around to finding another teacher, even though I was asking repeatedly, and find another piano teacher. So like after we moved, never got another piano lesson again, and those skills are gone. Did chorus for 4 years, which
Okay.
was surprising. I was actually a decent singer, but I haven't sang in like 10 to 12 years. So now my voice is very whatever.
I could
it was
not
also
picture
around
you
the time
singing
my
Panic.
Yeah, I know,
There's
I
no
actually
universe
just
in
can't-
which
I
I
actually
could.
just can't picture you singing.
I was
Couldn't do it.
I was a baritone. The low level stuff. I don't
Okay.
even know if I can sing now. If I practice, I can probably, if I get the voice exercises and open the voice
Oh,
up
Panic
again.
knows if he can sing or
probably
not. He
do it.
seems like a shower singer.
I do not sing anymore. I cannot keep tone anymore at all. And I have no sense of rhythm or time, so that makes it very difficult.
That makes it difficult. Yeah. Yeah. There
All
you
right,
go.
well, there you have
Do
it.
not cast me for Aladdin.
Oh, we won't. Trust me. But we got you for Mr. Popo, though.
Oh, 10 out of 10 Popo.
All right. So next question is from Mark Blenkhorn, who is a $10 supporter and has been on that $10
he's-
support tip for 4
he's
months.
our editor.
Let's go. Oh,
Yeah.
jeez,
Yeah.
man. Just keep getting Mark
You
all
suck.
the time. All right. He said, let me put on my glasses here. Mediocrity. No one
I
wants
know
to
it.
admit it, but at the same time or another, we all can be described as mediocre. Meh. Good. Not great. Satisfactory. Enough. A couple weeks ago, the discussion was about what it needs to be successful. My question is, when is it okay to be mediocre? Is it ever? Is it wrong to just do a job to the letter and not stand out? Tech support, phone, and social media operators notwithstanding, of course. Or is it just the case now that only the best will do in any and all working environments?
I think
Also,
it's
shout outs to your
perfectly-
boy for reading that whole paragraph without fucking something up. Let's go.
Yeah, that's 10. Let's go 10 out of 10. That's not very often that happens. So I'm gonna give
No,
you
I
that,
even added the punctuation and everything. Didn't
I'm
fuck up. Didn't read
impressed.
something backwards. Let's
I'm
go.
impressed.
Jeff is the Mayweather of Twitch streamers.
Oh, you went there, huh?
Nah, Jeff can read.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
Jeff, would you
Jeff
say
can
your
read.
reading skills? Would you say your
Jeff
reading skills
knows-
are mediocre?
Yeah, I would say mediocre.
Good, but not
I
great.
think I think that it's absolutely fine to be mediocre. I think here's an example that I'm going to give. Sometimes you will find that the most extraordinary people actually wish that they were mediocre. And they will go out of their way to easy there, humble brag. Panic over here raising his hand. Sometimes you'll find that the most extraordinary people will want to or actively attempt to live a mediocre life, despite being extraordinary. So, for example, the man who currently is or currently has one of, if not the highest IQs in the world, has gone out of his way to simply live on a farm and barely make any money and just do his own thing and not use to the way that society would expect him to use his intellect to further the rest of society, has just gone off and done that to get away from it all because he just doesn't care. Good Will Hunting is an entire movie around the concept of an extraordinary intellect battling with the fact that he doesn't necessarily want to do what society wants him to do with his intellect and just wants to be normal and not be the guy that's extraordinary at some, given thing. So it's okay to be mediocre, and even the people that, mediocre people, if you wanted to call them that, would I guess be jealous of. It isn't always the case that they love every minute of that, extraordinary whatever, whether it's fame, whether it's intellect, whether it's being filthy rich, whether everything to the extreme end of anything has problems. And if you're closer to the mean, odds are you might have problems, but they're not the major problems that people have on either end of the extreme. So mediocrity, I think, is perfectly fucking fine. I think the biggest challenge is being comfortable with being mediocre, and knowing that that's fine, and that it doesn't make you less successful or less important, or anything like that, but to just know that, you know, think about it. You're in great company. If you're mediocre, you represent, you're part of the largest body of the bell curve. You are in great company.
You are the 80%.
So,
you are the 80%.
You are the 80%. So there you have it. So that's my take. I mean, I think it's perfectly fine. I'm the embodiment of fucking mediocrity. I fucking love it. It's just, it's great.
For me, I love the emphasis on hustle and pushing and all of that, but it's kind of like taking a crap. You push as hard as is comfortable, right? You don't want to tear anything. You don't want to break anything.
Wow, what an analogy.
Yeah, but no, just in terms
you
of that,
push
it's
until you're not going to get hemorrhoids, and then you just kind of ease up. You eat the fiber in the morning, and you just see what happens.
But yeah, no, it's I would say push to the point you're comfortable. Like you know, you're gonna hustle and you go, but when you get to that point where you're happy with where you're at, that's good enough. It doesn't matter what anyone else says at that point. When you're comfortable with, like, you know, if you're comfortable, if you look at it at work, if you're comfortable with where you're at in your job function, and you know you're able to provide for yourself to a level that you're satisfied with, don't necessarily push harder if you don't want to. It's fine. If you're happy there, stay there. Everyone's like, no, you got to constantly be moving up. That's not necessarily the case. Find the level you're happy at and stick there. If that's mediocre, by all means stick there, because you know what? That means you're doing better than most of the people out there, you know, because you're happy.
Yeah. I think I agree with the message you're trying to say here. I don't agree with the message you're trying to say. Okay, so all right, so I agree.
Mediocre conveying it.
I think you're saying it's okay to be mediocre, and you know what? It is. I think it's an individual thing. It's kind of like the whole thing where it's, you know, what is success? We already talked about that, and what is success to you? And you know, a mediocre job to, you know, Zuckerberg may mean an 18-hour day and a fucking whatever, right? That may be mediocre to him, which could be, you know, a way above and beyond to somebody that typically does maybe an 8-hour day. For me, it's one of those things where I'm mediocre in areas that is okay for me to be mediocre in. I don't even know how to word to say this. I am a firm believer that mediocre and normalcy sucks. I don't think anybody should be mediocre or just getting by for the sake of getting by. Do I have a problem with people that do that? No. It's not my life. And I don't judge people for how they live their life. If they are truly happy, then so be it. The fact that this guy asks me, is it okay to be mediocre, means he knows that when he is being mediocre, he can give more. When you're asking that question of, am I doing enough? Chances are you're not doing enough, and you already know it. He's looking for you, Panic, to give him validation that it's okay to be mediocre. And the thing is, for him, it might be, listen, it doesn't make you a bad person. Doesn't mean you need to go and be, you know, the boss. It doesn't mean, but if you're going to practice, if you're going to the gym, and you're going to devote 2 hours or say even an hour of your time at the gym 5 days a week, why go to the gym and be mediocre? Why go into the gym and lift for 20 minutes and be on your phone for 40? Why? You know, because you're lazy, because you don't want to put in the work.
I think that's exactly what he's getting at. Is like the mentality is always hustle, always be the best. I think it's okay. Like for if you don't value the fitness, but you still want to at least get something in, I think it's completely okay to go to the gym as long, you know.
There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I don't hate on anybody that goes to the gym. I was just making an example. Listen, if you go to the gym, you're already beating the majority of people out there. But the thing is we can play the comparison game all the time. I mean, you've mentioned, well, if you do this, you're already better off, or you're in this bubble of 80% of people. You need to stop worrying about what other people are doing. And the problem is when people post shit up on Facebook, and something exciting happens. So say, for example, my new car that I got, okay? My new car. I post up on social media. I'm fucking excited. I even posted up on my own personal Facebook, which I rarely do. I'm a pretty quiet, conservative dude. I don't really flash things. I'm not the type of person that is like, hey, look at me, boys. I bought a Benz. Look at my dick. I'm just not like that. I did it because it's a personal achievement. I'm excited. And it was a big deal for me, But when people see that shit, for example, they see me in this expensive car, and then they look at their own situation and they go, the fuck am I doing? The fuck am I doing? I'm driving a $1,500 beater, and the dude that I went to high school with, that was the class clown, dropped into university. I busted my ass for 4 years. I've got 2 kids and a house and a fucking 30-term mortgage, and I'm struggling to make it get by, and this motherfucker went out and bought a Benz. What am I doing with my life? Well, here's the reality of social media, is whatever we post and whatever I'm reading, that is a highlight reel of my life. They don't see the 7 years of grind. They don't see the countless fights with the wife of being on the computer for 15 hours, 7 days a week for 5 years. They don't see the sacrifices of not hanging out with friends and doing all these things and the pressures of all the things that come along in the unknown. They only see what I show them. And of course, I'm going to show them the highlight reel of my life. And so most people, they look at social media and they feel mediocre because what they're seeing is everybody in the highlight reel of their life, and it is a false perception, because chances are you are putting in the work. Mediocre is a relative thing. It's only what you know, the effort that you're putting in. Just because you work at Walmart and you're a door greeter doesn't mean you're any less of a person than somebody that is a self-made man or a woman that is busting their ass doing their thing. Well, guess what? I don't know your situation. You might have a sick parent at home. You might have 2 kids. You might have other commitments. There ain't nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make you mediocre. It's the effort that you put in and what you do. And that's why I always tell people, don't matter where you work or what you do, you give it 100% or you don't do it at all. And that's what makes mediocre and not mediocre. Just because the amount of money you make, that don't mean shit. I mean, for fuck's sakes, we're all human. We all have the same emotions. We all live and breathe and eat and sleep and do all the same shit everybody else does. It just so happens that some people choose different paths in lives. Some people have a harder deck of life that they have to deal with. And some people just persevere and have different life goals. Doesn't make you less of a person or mediocre. It's honestly what you know that you can do under any circumstance, right? It's like me in gaming. I go and I play StarCraft every day. Am I a mediocre StarCraft player? Sure as fuck I am in comparison to most people. But guess what, motherfuckers? I'm not a mediocre entertainer, and I bet you damn right I made more money playing StarCraft than your favorite StarCraft 2 pro. Does that make me mediocre? Well, I don't know. And it's your perception, not mine. I know the work that I put in here. You only see what I give you, right? So it's no different than a regular job or this job that I have or whatever. It is all in perception on what it is that you know you can accomplish, and if you're truly challenging yourself. That's the show. That's what makes you mediocre or not. And when it comes to my stance on mediocrity, I think normal and mediocre sucks. The majority of people are too okay with being normal. And I think normal sucks. And I don't, it doesn't mean you need to be the one that stands out in the crowd. It just means that you have to stand out, or not stand out, but put in the work that you know you should be putting in, or you wouldn't be answering this question. I have it all the time, dude. I have mediocre times in my life. I like to think I don't live a mediocre life. You know, I challenge myself. I bust my ass. But fucking right, I have moments of procrastination. I have moments where I slack at the gym. I have moments where I slack in my relationship. I have moments where I slack in my friendships. I have moments where I'm just mediocre. I don't stand out. I may stand out on a crowd here on the podcast because I'm louder than you guys or whatever. But at the end of the day, you know, there are things that I do that are mediocre that I know that I can improve on. And so to answer your question, yeah, I think it's okay to be mediocre at times, but I don't think you should be comparing yourself with other people and seeing what level of mediocrity you're at because somebody's more successful than you. You know, like I said, if you're a Walmart greeter, go ahead and greet the fuck out of it, man. Own your job, dude. Own your job, and something good will come out of it. Or just go in and collect a paycheck, and I bet you nothing will change for you, ever, because you're not putting in the work. And I think only the person, him and himself, know it when and where you're being mediocre.
I agree.
That's where I'm at.
That kind of goes exactly with my hustle until you're satisfied with it level.
Yeah.
Adam, how do you feel about this?
Well, I mean, I already kind of said what I think about it. I think that it's the problem is that there's two different branches of discussion here. There's a branch that relates back to what we talked about in terms of what success means to an individual, because when you know what your success means as an individual, then that sets the bar for what you're comparing yourself to every other person on the planet. So even when you're doing what Jeff's saying and saying, okay, you have to, you know, when you're giving, you know, whatever, it all comes down to what you consider, you know, success to be. Once you've set a bar for yourself of what you consider to be successful, then instinctually, no matter how good you are as a human being, you're going to compare yourself to everyone else around you based on the criteria that you just gave yourself. Some people will say, okay, I want to travel the fucking world and swim in every ocean and fucking live it up and party and get on and do whatever. And so they'll bust their ass and they'll only get like 1 or 2 trips in a year, and they're basically breaking even financially just to accomplish that goal.
Yep.
And then they look online, and there's a bunch of people with old money, they're like fucking a bunch of 19-year-old girls taking 10 trips a year. They don't even really work, and they spend all their time in the gym or in the water on a beach with a bunch of like male models, and that's like their entire life. And then some of them just end up on like fucking Instagram, and they become Instagram famous, and they make money off of just being an attractive person with little to no intelligence. You know, that's, or not even, I won't even say intelligence, but little to no practical skills, because all they've done is travel and be attractive, which I guess is a perfectly fine thing to be. And if I could make money doing that, I'd probably do it too.
I'd do it.
Yeah. So there's that. And then there's people that will set a totally different benchmark for you know what success. So we've got success of people that need to be like fucking borderline millionaires to pull it off on a yearly basis, and then you've got people that will set the bar much lower and say, you know, as long as I have my bills paid and I can take care of my family, and by take care of my family, I don't mean literally put every single fucking person through post-secondary education, buy them homes, buy them a car, do everything for them. But if something comes up, I can shoot them a few bucks. I can help them out. I've got a room for them if they need it. You know, like that kind of shit. And then there you go. There's their bar. A lot more people have that bar than some other shit.
Well, that's because it seems more attainable, right? You know, I don't
Well,
know
it
if it's
is, and
necessarily to do with motive, but it's the easiest way out. It's the safest way.
It's the
it's
standard
like, you know,
benchmark.
yeah, it's like, hey, if I can just get this far, I'm okay. You know, and even I have that. Those
yeah,
levels,
because again,
you know?
yeah, but again, see, this is just it. You're projecting a bit on the topic because like you said, you think that mediocrity and normalcy sucks. Personally, you think it's okay to be mediocre. It's kind of odd because you say it's okay to be mediocre or normal.
It is,
but you personally think it sucks. So in this situation, you have to realize that for a lot of people, it's not necessarily about the fact that it's the easy way out or it's attainable. That's literally all these fucking people want. That's it. They're happiest at that point, and that's all they're shooting for. And for a lot of people, to even get to that point is a fucking Mount Everest because of any number of situations that exist in the majority of people's lives around the world. You know, it doesn't really differ all that much no matter where you go. People have things that can hold them back, and so they shoot for things like that. So in that regard, that's why I personally think that being mediocre is fine. I can appreciate what you're saying about not, and only the person will know that if they've set a bar higher mentally, and then they're convincing themselves that they're doing everything they can to reach it, and then put it off that they're not reaching it. That's a scenario that I would agree with, where that's a bad look. You don't want to be doing that. You don't want to set a benchmark over here, and then go to attain, you know, said benchmark, put in, let's say, 80% of the effort, convince yourself you're giving 100%, and if you don't attain it, settle for wherever you go. That, sure, I agree with that. But not everybody can give 110% and attain the shit that they internally strive for. And so that's why I'm saying a lot of people have to learn to be okay with being mediocre, because somebody could have the goal of let's say owning a home. Fuck, that's anywhere in the world that is actually a strikingly difficult thing to do, and not a lot of people get to ever fucking own a home. So let's say you shoot for owning a home. There are an increasing number of people, by and large, especially these days where jobs are not exactly easy to come by in many places. Let's just use North America, for example, where it's not necessarily the mortgage that's the problem, it's the down payment that's nigh on impossible to accrue, even if you're in a relationship with two people making a slightly above average incomes. Because of the housing market, it's just fucking crazy. So to get to just owning a home can be a fucking struggle, and a lot of people will never get there. They will be permanently stuck in Rentville, population them, and they're never going to be able to attain the house, but they're giving 110%. There are also a group of people that could totally attain that, but they're only giving 80%, and they're not getting the house because they're not going the rest of the way, but they're settling and saying, well, fuck it. That's the difference between those two camps. And for the camp that doesn't attain it but is giving 110%, but their bar is higher than where they're capable of personally attaining for whatever given situation they're in, they are the people that need to understand that it is okay that you don't own a home. It's okay maybe that you don't have kids because you're responsible and didn't bring one into the world when you can't afford to fucking raise one. It's okay to not have these other benchmarks that have been a standard for the last, 100 fucking years now, and live with the fact that sometimes you can't, no matter how hard you try, but the important thing is that you yourself know that you gave 100%. If that's the case, thumbs up. But just be comfortable with the fact that you can't always, like the song goes, you can't always get what you want. And it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I agree with most of what you said. I can't really add too much more of that. I truly believe that if anybody wanted to own a home, I believe they could do it. with enough preparation and hard work. I feel like I know there'll be people that'll
going
yell at
home is
me
more
and be like,
discipline than anything.
and yeah, you know, when you say give it 110%, you still can't achieve to buy a home. I think that is misdirection.
I'm not using it as an example because in
I feel
North
like
America,
what happens,
obviously, yes.
Yeah, I feel like what happens is a lot of people don't realize that in order to achieve those things, it isn't an overnight thing. It's something that needs to be planned, executed.
Or they're not willing to make the sacrifices.
The sacrifices needed, right? You know,
because buying a house might mean you need to go to a different part of the country. You might need to move somewhere else. You might need to move different type of job. You might need to have more discipline on spending. You have to. It's like a whole big like, how much are you willing to commit to meet that benchmark?
Yeah, and unless you're willing to completely sacrifice, then you're not going to achieve that. I truly believe that, you know, under certain circumstances. I mean, if you're 40 years old and you've never gone to school and you've never held a job for more than 2 years, yeah, you're gonna have a really tough hill to climb to reach some of, you know, maybe the dream of owning your first new vehicle and your first, you know, house or whatever. It doesn't matter about the price tag. I mean, it could be a $10,000 car and a $40,000 shack. It doesn't matter. You're gonna have a hard time achieving that. I think what a lot of people do is they see, you know, if you're renting a house for $1,200 a month or $800 a month, and the only differentiator is getting a down payment for a house, you know, sometimes you need to make sacrifices. If that means moving down in home to rent, if that means picking up extra work and working overtime every week, if that means not going out and doing some things that you normally would do, then, you know, maybe that's what you do. If you're not willing to make those sacrifices, listen, you don't get houses for free. You don't get vehicles for free. I know that there's a lot of people that think they can just throw everything on credit, but at the end of the day, we saw what happens with the market. The crash will happen when people just start buying shit they can't afford. It becomes a problem. Now, I do know that there are circumstances where what you're saying is absolutely true. There are some people out there that are in absolute fucking horrible situations that are out of their control, whether it's where they were brought up, whether it's the situation they had, maybe it's a mental issue, a physical issue, a disability of some sort, a family member, and they have to put themselves second. And so those things are just not obtainable. It doesn't mean that you still can't be happy and it means you're mediocre. No, it doesn't at all. It just means that, yeah, those are tough. But I truly believe that anybody, if they want to own a home, they want to own a car, they want to have some kind of freedom, so to speak, whether that's financial freedom or spiritual freedom or whatever, it just requires a lot of preparation. It doesn't come overnight. Nothing great comes overnight. And if something great comes overnight, chances are it's not meant to be. So, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. There are a set of circumstances, but nobody's ever going to win a fight with me where they tell me that somebody can't achieve what they want in life without a hard work. Because I know if I can do it and other people around me have done it, you know, they can do it. And I know it's easy for me to say it because I'm in a position now where I've made something of myself in some way, and I'm still, you know, I'm still not fucking special. Because it's easy for somebody to say, well, yeah, it's fucking easy when you're playing video games, bro. I go to fucking, you know, I lift fucking heavy stone all day, motherfucker, and I get paid $15 an hour. And I got 2 kids and that. Yeah, I know, bro. I know. But these are all decisions that you made. I didn't make those decisions. These are decisions that you made, and now you got to live with that. And if that means that you got to bust your ass and you got to work harder to get yourself in a situation, if not, you need to not complain where you are, or don't point fingers at me when I'm saying something else. That's where I'm at.
Adam, you got a question?
Huh. I could continue that a little bit, but I might have to let that. I might have to let that go. Let's see. I was reading a couple of these. Here we go. This one's from Technics. If you had to pick one movie to describe your life, which movie would it be?
I would say... Oh man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one because I don't think there's many movies out there that would describe the pretty boring and uneventful life I live.
Office Space.
Did you just say that you live a boring and uneventful life? The man who just brought a brand new fucking Mercedes and just this week returned from a whirlwind trip in Las Vegas. Are you really?
Jeff, they put your car on a boat specifically for you.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, yeah. Okay.
Really?
You do not get to say that when they put your car on a boat
Cena
specifically
behind you for shits and giggles.
Well, I mean, I'm used to it, man. It's like I don't go out.
You're used to it.
I don't go out and have like a regular job where I have coworkers and I, go out to, double dates and do all these things that most regular people do, I guess.
You don't have
or maybe my
parties
perception of regular is misconstrued. I don't know, man. I wake up, I play video games. I go on vacation twice a year to the same place.
Holy fuck. Oh, I would classify monotony as working the same fucking pencil pushing office job for like the entire year where you only get 2 weeks of paid vacation and one of those weeks they take back from you because somebody else got sick and you have to go back in and you don't get to choose really when you take those weeks off unless you fucking call in like 3 months in advance, and even then they're probably going to cancel on you, and so you have to go back to that mediocre job and keep fucking rocking that shit for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, sometimes overtime where they don't even cover it for you, but you have no recourse, so you have to just take it in the ass. I would say that's probably the more normal, boring life,
I suppose. All right, you got
scenario.
Me. Now that
have you guys worked a 9-to-5 office job ever?
I just find I once again
you did an internship on contract. That doesn't count.
Yeah, but once again,
contract work for like 6 months. For 6 months. Been doing that shit for 9-10 years now. Almost.
It felt like fucking 5 years, man. I'll let you know what that fucking company was like. It was terrible.
Yeah.
They put me in a goddamn broom closet. They put me in a broom closet, and the president of the fucking company, after 5 months I was there, I redid their entire online fucking store single-handedly with thousands of products, coordinated
uphill
the
both
end
ways
of the
in the
rebuild
snow
of the next fucking website, had to teach a 55-year-old man how to work the back end of said new website so he by himself on a 15-year-old Windows 98 computer could fucking use Cold Fusion to update the goddamn thing and then go back and get to my broom closet and then retool the entire financial tracking for their online sales and then have the president walk in and look me in the fucking eye after he went out and bought a new BMW and say, "So what do you do here?" That's the fucking 6 months I had there. So fuck that shit. Right in the butthole. No thank you. Oh, and his son, who is there as well, just comes in after racing his yacht in the morning at 11 o'clock and then clamps down if things aren't going well and blames the same people every day of the week when he does dick. So that is the exact environment. So yes, I absolutely 100% get the office grind, and I do not want to go back to that.
Not after 6 months, you don't.
See, but I think the office grind has lots of events and lots of drama and lots of like
absolutely
the amount of shit that I hear from Kayla when she comes home and she's complaining about things, or there's funny like old people stories that happen that are memorable.
Boring.
Yeah.
Interesting things will happen, but it's not like you kind of play it out like a drama thing. No, it's not. It's just like regular course of business. Stuff happens.
Yeah.
Like when I talk to friends and stuff on like WhatsApp or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing right now?" And don't say work. Give me a breakdown of what you're doing right now. I'm like, I am literally sitting in front of 4 monitors, typing on my keyboard, writing code. Like, so you're working. I'm like, yeah, pretty much. Like, and that's what it is. There's meetings, you have conversations, you crack jokes with your coworkers. That's the show. Or in Adam's case, you do things to 55-year-olds in room closets. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's just fucking.
I mean,
brutal.
I guess it's all relative, right? I mean,
So
work is
I would
work.
say Office Space describes my life as a movie. Going back to the question, because I sit in an office
Okay.
and I do shit.
Okay.
I mean, I would have
Only the
said
first half of Office Space.
my old life would have been the movie Waiter, serving food and stuff like that, which is a great. But in terms of my new life, I don't really know. I can't think of a movie that embodies what I do, because I'm not downplaying it at all. I don't really do that much on a day-to-day basis. There's a few highlight reels that I talked about earlier that happen in a span of a year, but at the end of the day, it's still work to me. It's
So
everything is
you're
still
pretty much like Jason Segel from that like bro comedy thing he had with Paul Rudd, like I Love You Man or whatever. Like you do your thing.
Yeah, it's really tough. Like I can't say it's as crazy as like Wolf on Wall Street or some shit, where it's like, you're
Yeah.
you're partying it up and you're traveling and you're fucking having these crazy times, but you're all business when you need to. It's like you work hard and play harder. It's not really like that. I don't know. I actually just don't know. No idea.
This is a question
Maybe he's
you
like
cannot
Scott
answer.
Pilgrim versus the world or something. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Is there like an
Stranger
esport?
Than Fiction would be a good one. Mark
Stranger
actually
Than Fiction?
said that in chat. That Will
The
Ferrell
Pursuit
movie
of
where he just
Happiness.
really-
There you go.
Will Smith.
I'll take The Pursuit of Happiness, but I'm kind of like past that chapter now. But I guess that was the thing, sort of.
I would say if you cut his IQ by one, by like in half, I'm Good Will Hunting represents my life pretty well insofar as
It's not your fault.
Not
your
well.
fault.
That scene. Obviously, that part of the Good Will Hunting movie doesn't really apply here. But the concept whereby because of how well I did academically and all this nonsense or whatever, everybody always has expectations of what I should be doing with that, what direction I should be taking my life. Why don't you move to Toronto? Why don't you go down to the States? Why aren't you getting into this, that, or the other thing? Why didn't you do
Why are you wearing
financing or,
sweatshirts?
economics or whatever? Why aren't you doing this, that, the other thing? Now more recently, it was why are you considering real estate when you really would enjoy being a teacher? And you could again apply that academic shit, go back to school, do become a teacher like you've talked about a few times instead of doing the real estate thing. And so there's always, it seems like no matter what corner I turn around, and this is not my parents, by the way. Obviously, my parents are the most supportive people on the planet. But there's always a question somewhere. Why, when you did this, well over here, are you not applying it over here? And because you would do so much better and it would be so much nicer and blah, 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 blah. Instead of just doing what I do now, which is, or continued to do for the last 6 years, which was, the YouTube thing. And then, we've rolled into live streaming and now this podcast, and I do, video game reviews and whatnot. And it's not that it's done me poorly or anything like that, but it's just always because of what it is. It's always, well, why didn't you do this thing over here? You know, it especially comes up, and especially came up more in the last like, couple years where I financially got wrecked, you know, with the break-in and all this shit, and then my money kind of evaporated, and then the fun go-to is, well, obviously this probably wouldn't happen if you had a regular, you know, a regular 9-to-5 job, or you pursued and went to Loblaws and became an upper management in Toronto, and
Oh, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
$250,000 a year.
Yeah,
But it's
you
just,
know,
you know, so
maybe
so I'm
because
gonna say
there's
Good Will
more.
Hunting.
Maybe because, you know, I'm not to speak for you, but I think it's much more fulfilling to be your own boss and to call your own shots than to go and work for somebody else and just join the normalcy, you know? And normal sucks. I mean, guys just said it. Working an office job sucks. That's being normal for most people. That's normalcy. Is there something wrong with it? No, there's nothing wrong with it. It just sucks. And if you ask most people, they're going to tell you the same thing. It fucking sucks. Pays shit. Dealing with people is shit. You got to tell somebody when you have your vacation, shit. You got to fucking deal with your asshole coworkers, shit. Very little opportunity to move up, shit. That's normalcy, and normal sucks. Let's be weird. Let's not be normal. Let's call our own shots. And that's what you did. And you know what? Guess what? Sometimes there's consequences for that. Sometimes and it's not good, and it's not fun, but that's the reality of it. But when it's great, when you can sit on a podcast right now, have thousands of people listen to you, you know, have the bills paid, taking care of you and your better half, your family's proud of you, that's what it's all about. Fuck what everybody else says. Fuck the easy way out, because that don't help you grow. That's just like, oh, it's okay. Everything's okay. Loblaws is going to take care of your check. It'll be there every second Thursday at midnight. Who gives a fuck? I want to be hungry. I want to know I'm only making $2,000 this month. I want to know, because I want to have a fire under my ass so that I make some changes instead of being mediocre. I want to know when I have to step the fuck up. That's what it's all about for me. That's why I get so heated about it, because fuck having somebody tell me what to do, when to be there. Once again, for the people out there that are like that, this isn't a shot at you. This is my life. You know, don't get mad at me for living my life the way I live it, because I don't get mad at you for you living your life the way you live it. There's much more successful people out there than I am, for sure. I'm not envious. I just get hungry. I want to do what they do. I want to emulate, do it better. That's it. I don't want to work a regular job. I don't want Loblaws cutting my checks. Fuck that shit, man. Because it doesn't challenge me, man. That's when I feel mediocre. And that's where I had a problem with mediocre for me. And that's good, man. You know, it's not good having your house broken into and being fucking, you know, raped dry of your bank account because some fucktard that didn't go to school, that didn't become their own self-made man, that didn't go to Loblaws, and they want to fucking commit crime and steal from you, a hard-working individual that took risk. Yeah, that fucking sucks, man. That's bullshit. But at the end of the day, when you come back from it, man, that's a good feeling. That's a fucking good feeling. And that's the way it is. That's the way I look at it. Fuck the haters.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the movie. I will pick a watered down version of Good Will Hunting. You know, sans the it's not your fault part.
I still don't have a movie for me, so I don't know. I can't think of anything.
You're ducking out of this one. Got it.
That's
it's not that I'm ducking. I can't really.
No, you don't have any answers.
I'm definitely not a good. I'll think about it some more, but I'm not like a good.
I mean, you're ducking in the sense that there's just like you can't come up with an answer. Like it's a hard one, and that was a really hard question.
It is, but it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
It's like one that I want to have an answer for, and it makes me reflect. But I just
think about it and come back for the next text.
I'm gonna think about it. You guys come up with another question. I'll think about it.
All right, we've come full circle. Panic, you're up.
I am up. All right. This is from Theo. Theo. It's what are your opinions on Dungeons and Dragons? Have any of you tried it? If so, how did it go? And would you be interested in trying it again?
Dude, I've been talking about it now for the better half of a year, and I just really want to try it someday. I haven't tried it. I feel like it would be perfect for me and my personality. I think I would get like super into it and shit. But I've never played. I've watched now streams do Dungeons and Dragons. It looks like fun. It's the ultimate nerd, and I like that.
You know what we should do? We should set like a high stretch goal that we will go and find a DM and we run a technical alpha D&D game.
Dude, let's just hit 5K. I'll do a fucking Dungeons and Dragons. Let's get back to 5K. Done. I'll do it. I'm sure it wouldn't be tough to find.
We need to find a competent DM that fills that role well.
I'm guaranteed we could find it for sure.
We probably have one in our listening base.
Guaranteed. I've already had people on my stream that are like, dude, I do it all the time. I can do it. And there's like online shit too. Like there's really good sites that you can plug everything online and it's all, everything just works. I would definitely do it. There's your DLC, boys. Let's hit that stretch goal again. Done. I'll do it. I've been wanting to do it anyway. It'd be fun.
It's time consuming, dude. Be warned.
It takes a while.
You don't walk casually.
You don't understand until you do it.
I'm ready. I'm ready for an 8-hour session.
When you're first starting, like I did my first session of D&D last year, and it's a nightmare for me because I'm like a details oriented fucking person, right? So I'm like, it took me forever to get my character set up, and then on top of that, then I had to ask every single question possible to the poor DM who had to friggin' organize all this and try.
What happens if I grapple this bear?
Yeah, like, because you don't know the limits of what you can and cannot do, and every DM is a little different, and then depending on the rule set that you're using, it can be a lot to take in, but not impossible. And so yes, to answer that part of the question, I have, as recently as last year, I've enjoyed it. 50%, no. I'm going to say more than that. 75% of the enjoyment of Dungeons & Dragons is having an actually good DM. The rest of it is pretty straightforward as far as, playing out your characters and you have a good time. Because when the DM is good, everybody generally has a good time. It's just the kind of the way it goes. If you have a DM that's not so hot, then, it can be pretty just...
It depends on the people you have in the group, too. If you have an okay DM, but your group of people is fun, then it works out. D&D is like a social experience, in my opinion. The game is kind of secondary to that.
Yeah.
But from my perspective, I've done D&D quite a bit, but I haven't done it recently. Like Adam, you've done it probably the most recently out of us.
Yeah.
I think the last time I did it was about 8-9 years ago. But when I did it, I've done it on all ends. Wrong way. I did as a DM, also as a player. I've done DMing of like 3-person games, and I've done DMing of like 12-person games. And the only reason I don't do it now is time commitment is too large, like as a DM. So like it's just hard to do. I would love to like find a game and just be able to play, one night a week or one night every other week or something. Get some of it in because it's such a great experience, but it's just hard to make that work scheduling wise.
Yeah.
I feel like Jeff could have a lot of fun with it. Jeff would have a lot of fun with it
Jeff,
if we can get a good DM, like a small group.
Yeah, Jeff would be absolutely fucking wild in a D&D group, especially once he learned like the ins and outs of it. He'd be full.
If you get like, even if you throw him into like 5th edition, like he'd be able to handle that. It'll be hilarious.
Retard mode, and it would be perfect. It was like playing it. So Jeff,
if you get into like a game like Critical Role, you'd be all set.
I played with Brian was one of the other people that we played with at the time, Jeff. So Smitty was in the group. And Smitty was an absolute just fucking gong show. Everything was hilarious because he'd do the dumbest crap. We'd be in a fight with somebody and he'd be like, all right, instead of killing this guy, I'm just going to break his back and then I'm going to drag him around on a leash as a pet for the next while. And the DM was like, okay.
Roll a strength check.
And then at some point, like, he'd just get killed. Like, he'd end up killing him in the most gruesome way. Like, the shit he came up with was just so dumb. It was so funny, though. So, I found
the best D&D players. The best D&D players are the ones who don't actually know the rules all that well. Because it's the ones who, can rely on the DM to kind of explain the basics of the rules and they kind of understand and just keep the line. It's the ones who are, like, able to, like, come up with a character that they want to be and then just do it. Like, you don't think about, oh, I'm going to do this attack this way. You're going to be like, no, I am playing this guy, and this motherfucker is going to break this guy's back and then use him as a pet and carry him around with a leash. That's what I'm going to do. And then you just convey that to the DM, and then the good DM will be like, all right, yeah, this is how you make that happen.
Yeah.
Or can you make this happen this way?
Interesting.
Exactly. And then
you create a character, and then the game will come.
Yeah. So if we well maybe we'll say that. We'll say
you want to do that?
Stretch goal.
Let's hit the stretch goal. We'll do
try and set that up.
I would say for
popular
5K
on Twitch. We could blow up on D&D the podcast.
That would be kind of cool. Technical alpha D&D.
I would say 5K. We'll do a one shot periodically.
Yeah, of course.
If we get to like 10 or something, we'll do like a regular game, and we'll get a DM. And hell, if we have to pay the DM, that's fine.
Dude, let's just get to 5 and let me try out D&D.
Let's just
start.
And
we'll try that shit out.
I'm excited about D&D, man.
If it's great, then sure. You know, I don't need to get paid for it. I'll just fucking play D&D. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, we can
Seems
release
like a good
it
time.
as another podcast. Like, it would just be its own audio file. We could technically record the session and release it as its own thing.
And for Twitch content, for streaming purposes, it does pretty well. Like, it's fun to watch.
Yeah,
you get all that.
I'm sure it would. I'm sure it would do great.
Yeah,
I'm diggity down.
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right. You got another question?
Let's do one more. I want to do one more here.
Yeah, we still got time. We can do another question.
All right. Well, there's not a whole lot. I mean, this one we can kind of answer, but I feel like we may have answered this before.
You can dig into older shit if you need to.
Cyclonix. He said, "What are the technical difficulties streamers/content creators such as you guys face that are not obvious to the audience? I ask about this less obvious ones because let's face it, it's not technical alpha for nothing." So some technical difficulties streamers, content providers face that aren't obvious to the audience. I'm assuming he means like hardware, like a technical difficulty.
Well, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, he was just using it as an example.
Or using our name as like a. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just an obvious. That's an obvious one.
I'm just gonna say before Adam jumps into this, audio is fucking hard. Like, people don't understand how hard it is to get good quality audio. Like, again, there's good enough, and then there's like doing it like correctly, and it gets messy and hard.
I'm gonna agree with you, but to an extent. I feel like guys like you and Adam make it hard.
We go too far
for ridiculous reasons. You know, I am a staple for people that come to my stream and they go, "Holy shit, your mic sounds incredible." And it's not because I'm running $1,600 mic. This is, you know, right now I'm just using it 4040. It is, you can make it as simple or as complicated as you want. And when you start adding software to fucking add compression or an EQ on your voice of some sort, or you're adding extra hardware and you're hooking all this shit up, that's when you become problems. That's why I always tell people, you know what, Adam, Panic, you guys know fuck tons about audio equipment. Great. But guess what? You have more fucking problems with your shit than I do.
My stuff's been working.
And I'm working. You know what? I always tell people, you get a good mixer, you get a half decent microphone, the mixer will do the rest. That's the show. You want to add a bunch of shit, you're gonna get fucked. It's just how she rolls. You're gonna spend too much money, you're gonna get fucked.
I'm going to say that audio is hard, but not the mic. The mic is easy. I mean, I've never really had
that's
mic
just plug
problems.
And go.
It's just plug and go. Even when you have a big ass, like, I mean, I don't even have a big ass chain. It's a fucking amp into a compressor into a mixer, and that's the show. It's just like 3 cables and you know, it's bada bing, bada boom. The microphone's never been a problem for me. Audio becomes a problem, or not even a problem, but it can just get annoying when you're balancing audio, because unless you have a mixer where you're monitoring, and even when you monitor, monitoring with headphones does not really give you a good sense of what the fuck is going out to the stream. That's why at the end of every stream, I always take a couple of minutes and I go back and I just check my VOD to make sure that nothing fucky has gone on, because getting your voice to be at a reasonable level on top of whatever you're playing, like as far as the game audio goes, is not difficult, but it can be a bit tedious, especially because every game is different. Every game is a little louder or a little quieter. Things are a little hit or miss. A mixer can make it easier on the fly because you just have faders that you can do it. If you're relying only on the Windows side, where you're like dicking around with the fucking like Windows sound system and shit, then that's annoying. If you're like Jeff and you can ignore a bunch of shit and just fucking plug and go, then you're off to the races. But if you're trying to balance things a little more, then it can be annoying. It's not like impossible. I think the problem is with audio more than anything is that not everybody is going to, even if you can get a cheap XLR mic. Like there's one that I gave a buddy of mine to buy, or suggested for him to buy, and it was a $75, $80 microphone, XLR microphone that came with the fucking it came with a pop filter, it came with a sock, it came with a shock mount, and it came with like an XLR kit, like it came with everything. It was like $80, and it sounds pretty damn good. The expensive part is the interface. That's where the money goes down the tube if you're using an XLR microphone. If you're just using a USB mic, then it's not such a big deal, obviously, because you're just plugging in a USB mic. The challenge, of course, is that there is not a lot of super great USB mics, not in terms of the audio quality. You can make, for example, an AT2020 sound pretty fantastic, but people, the thing that people try and get around is keyboard noise and room noise, and if you're like Panic and
wind
you're
tunnel.
literally inside a wind tunnel and shit like that.
My
That's
noise
where it
floor
gets a little
is
difficult.
like 5 times higher than where Adam and Jeff is. Like, there's a lot of ambient noise. Like, I have headphones on, I can hear air moving around, like from outside the windows, from vents and stuff, and I have no control over that.
Yeah, well, I mean,
So
I mean, you're kind of a special case, but I you know what? If I'm going to tell you right now, if there's somebody out there that needs a mixer that does it all, that sounds amazing. It's got your graphic equalizers, got your compression, got everything. You just plug it in and you play. You don't fuck with nothing. You don't have to add $700 worth of stuff. No fuss, no nothing. I want you guys, you're listening right now, I want you to open your phones, get that notepad, all right? If you're old school and you got a piece of paper and a pen, I'm going to say this to you one time. I want you to go out and I want you to buy this mixer because it's fucking amazing.
I really hope you're not about to say the one that you're about to say.
I use a variant of it. I want you to go and buy it because it's absolutely incredible. It's not expensive. It's called the UR12 Steinberg. I'm going to say this one more time. The UR, as in umbrella, rhinoceros, 1-2. UR12 Steinberg. It's $129.99. It is balls cheap. It has the exact same software. The one that I'm using, the UR44, and I also have a UR28 in the other room. One's $500. This one's $300. This one right here, $129.99 Canadian pesos. Buy this.
Man. That's where it's at.
It has top of the line preamps. It's got amazing software behind it. You plug and you go. Don't listen to any other suggestion. Just go buy this mixer and go stream, do whatever it is that you need to do, and the shit is absolute fire. And then get whatever microphone you want, and you're done. It has an amp for your headphones. It's got 2 preamps, top-of-the-line preamps. You're not going to hear any fucking noise, none of that shit. Great great company, good warranty, fucking shits like a brick. Just amazing.
Shit makes good stuff too, but they don't make audio mixers.
They don't make audio mixers. The UR12. It is the cheapest of the three, but they all have the same preamp and they all have the same software. Go buy that. That's it. There's no fluff. I'm just telling you.
For mic stuff, my general suggestion is if you're gonna get into XLR microphones, there's no real sense. There's no sense in going with an XLR microphone, really. Panic over here with his like 60,000.
It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Panic's even outdone
like
me at this point.
Seeing that is just it's just dumb. It's a waste of money. If anybody does that, it's absolute dumb. Unless it is your career, it's dumb. It's just dumb.
There's reasoning for all of this shit here, but that's for me.
You go ahead and you can justify it any way you want. I don't care. It's dumb. And if anybody goes out and spends thousands of dollars on audio equipment, it's dumb. All right, that's it. You're not gonna convince me other way. I'm not hating on you. It's great. Looks awesome. Good for you, but it's dumb. Just go and buy $129 mixer. If you want to get fancy, buy the $300 one. The UR44. Upgrade a bit. Holds more mic jacks, 4 of them. Same preamp. Same software. Want to spend a little bit extra money? Go ahead. Buy yourself an XLR mic. It's done. Adam Panic, they're the gurus of sound. They know their shit. All right? They know their shit. But I know my shit too. And it's simple. It's as complicated as you want to make it, or it's as simple as you want to make it. Go pick that up. They better start sponsoring me, because I've sold a lot of mixers. A lot of streamers come to me. They go, how do I get that sound? I say, you are Steinberg. 12,
I'm gonna
44,
say 90%. 90% of your sound is the fact that you've got a dedicated space in the basement that's relatively sound isolated from everywhere else. 90% of people trying to do audio don't have that.
You want me to turn off? You want me to turn off my EQ and my shit right now? You want it? Here. This is what I sound like without my stuff. Do you know how much different that sounds? It has nothing to do with my room. It has everything to do with the software. Listen to the difference.
He's not talking about the processing. He's talking about
he's talking about the space. He's talking about my carpet. He's talking about not being in a wind tunnel. I understand Panic's situation. I understand Panic's situation. I do.
It's not even just that. It's so here's my suggestion, okay? Here's my suggestion. If you're even in this wasn't even like but this whole question wasn't even about fucking suggesting shit, but now we're going to fucking do it anyway because we already started it.
The rabbit hole.
Don't buy an XLR microphone. Don't do it. Fuck XLR microphones. Just don't bother. If you're going to get into an XLR microphone, though, if I can't dissuade you from doing something like buying an XLR microphone, then at that point, if you're going to go that far, if you need to go so far with your audio that even for $129, which would be the cost of just buying a fucking USB mic to begin with for the interface, then you might just as well properly pick something suited for your situation, because everybody's room and situation is totally fucking different, and you can't give a blanket fucking go. I mean, you can, if you just want to like plug and play, then yes, there's the Steinberg, there's Scarlett, there's at least 5 different companies in the same price bracket that for any given microphone, short of one that requires a whole bunch of gain, is going to be perfectly fine. You plug it in, it uses either standard USB fucking drivers from Windows, or it has its own ASIO driver or something similar that runs like Jeff's Steinberg, for example, and go. And you could technically do that. But my suggestion is, if you're going to go that far, where you have to have an interface because you bought an XLR microphone, then at least buy something, get a setup going that makes sense for your situation. Most people, when they're gaming or streaming now, are looking for, at the very least, a way to have a noise gate. is one of the most popular things. OBS has one internally that you can kind of do a software thing for. Every voice over IP thing worth its salt has a noise gate built into it. It's super useful tool because when you're gaming and using a keyboard, and because everybody desperately needs a blue switch mechanical keyboard where they can fucking hear you in Africa typing out "the lazy dog jumps over the fucking brown fox" or whatever the shit, then the noise gate makes sure that everybody at home isn't listening to you typing out that fucking sentence over and over and over again whenever you're playing, or clicking your mouse 1,000 times when you're playing games that, you know, doing whatever, or even just moving your analog sticks, and the sound of this shit, even though it's down on your lap and you're not using a mic like mine, you're using a condenser microphone, and it's going to pick up all this shit and stuff that people at home don't necessarily always want to listen to. Then if you're going to go XLR, then get into that kind of shit. You know, buy something that works for your environment. In my room, despite having a carpet and this couch and all this other shit in it, it is a box with a hallway, and I even have, you can see the bastardized stacked up fucking sound dampening shit I had back there to try and bass trap for my voice. This room is super echoey. And if I didn't have this microphone, and let's say I had Jeff's microphone, and you put that exact mic in this position, you would hear, when I talked, a whole bunch of echo, and it would make the mic sound like a piece of shit. It would sound awful. It would sound kind of like, if I, not to this degree, but the room noise, when you hear somebody on like a webcam microphone, because the webcam mic is picking up everything in the room. Or if you've ever heard somebody, you know, with a phone and they're doing this shit and they're doing a selfie fucking whatever and you're hearing all the echo, or a DSLR microphone, same idea. So you could do something like take, for example, that's not Jeff's normal mic because his normal mic's in the shop. If you brought Jeff's Neumann over here, which is a $1,600 microphone, and you put it on here, this room by itself, without me doing some pretty specific shit to help it along, that mic would sound like a $200 microphone, at which point you've now spent $1,600 on a microphone that your room is making it sound like shit. Take a $80 microphone.
It's because it's a condenser mic. It has nothing to do with price.
It's
you want to get a dynamic microphone that's going to be right in your face.
Yes,
it still doesn't change the fact that you should still get the UR12 under any circumstance, because it's going to give you all the interface that you need. Whether it's dynamic or a condenser, it's going to do the exact same effect. It's going to give you the same effect without buying racks of shit or using some sort of software that's going to create some sort of delay or fuck up some program in Windows 10. Doesn't matter what you use, right?
Sure. You can still, I didn't even talk about the interface being wrong. Like I said, there are like 5 different companies that all do the same shit with like different drivers, and they all accomplish exactly the same thing. And because most people are using a small or large diaphragm condenser microphone, you don't need to turn the dial up very high on the gain because it doesn't need any. So you're never going to hit on the preamp to the point where there's noise. Like you could, I could go buy an art interface. Like I have upstairs, I have 2 of them. They're even cheaper. They're fucking $80. You plug it with a USB and it's a standard USB, so it just shows up as a plug-in. There's not even an interface. It doesn't even have an ASIO driver. It's just there. You plug it in, it's $80. It's got the pre's. You're done. So I mean, technically, if you really wanted to go cheap, you could just fucking go buy an art one and call it a day, and it accomplishes all the same shit. Much. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to go XLR, you buy a mic that's for the room that you're in the situation you're trying to accomplish, and you get an interface because you're going to need one in some way. Whether it's a mixer, like I've got a big honking mixer back here, but that's because like Jeff's talking about an interface. A mixer is a little different than an interface. So the mixer I have is for like my consoles, my computers, everything. All my audio is through this mixer. But if you're just talking about a microphone, you don't need something like that. But the thing that I suggest for people to get if they're going into XLR is be prepared to spend some relatively decent money on it, because otherwise you're better off just buying a USB mic.
$129.99. That's what you need to pay.
Just
Canadian.
But that's the interface. That's not the microphone. So you're paying for the interface, and you're paying for the microphone.
Yeah.
Right? So at that point, what I'm saying is, if you're getting into that situation, the microphones that you're going to buy to go along with that interface, you're spending more money than you need to. If you're entering the XLR market, that's when you spend a couple of extra dollars, and you not only get a better sounding microphone, but you eliminate the problems that your room provided that you would be harder, not impossible, but harder to eliminate with USB mics. Because, for example, if you really wanted to know what you were doing, or if you really knew what you were doing, for free, free 99, I have an entire folder on my computer right now, upstairs of my AT 2020. I could plug it into this. I could bring up my VST host. That shit gets
unstable, though.
No, mine never had a single fucking problem. I even used it with my art plugin with my on-ear microphone upstairs in my old office. My VST host, you plug it in. You have free plugins that do compression and EQ like Jeff's VSTs with his ASIO driver for his Steinberg. You have de-essers, anything you ever wanted to. Most people want a noise gate, a compressor, so that they scream, they don't fucking kill people. You do it there, and the delay is like 200 milliseconds. You go to OBS, you put in 200 milliseconds in your webcam.
It's annoying. I do not suggest anybody to ever do that ever.
You fall out of sync all the time.
I don't suggest. Adam, you've had nothing but problems doing these workarounds.
What I'm saying is that's not a workaround. What I'm saying is, if you really want to save money, if the whole thing is it's $129,
if it's
plus
money,
the
you can do it in software, but you have to deal with the problems.
Then you can do it by spending $120 on only the microphone. Done. And if you really want to get the same effect for the excruciating pain of going into OBS or XSplit and setting a 200 millisecond delay on your webcam, you have accomplished it for free. $0.00.
It still creates problems, man.
I did it for 4 years.
I know, and you've had nothing but audio sync issues. So
no, I didn't.
I mean,
I had no audio sync issues.
You still have them now, dude. You still have them today. You're still
today.
Very white.
That's that's my interface that's causing the issues.
That's
my interface.
All right, Adam, you win, bro. You win. You're right. I'm wrong. You're right. I'm wrong. I've never had an audio issue in the 7 years I've fucking did this. I've used the same line of mixers, has all the interface. It's $129. That's the show. That's it. Just give me this one, man. Submit. Because I'm not wrong.
I'm not saying you're wrong. That's the problem.
It's not worth the headache.
You are convinced that I'm saying you're wrong. God damn, I'm not. Jesus Christ, I'm giving my opinion. And you've managed to say that my opinion has the sole purpose of saying that you're wrong. The fuck?
The beeps, Jeff. The beeps.
Oh, Jesus, no. Don't. That's PSD shit. Don't. It's PTSD. That's like fucking nom triggers. The fucking beep shit. But no, that's
we're gonna move off. We're gonna move off audio for technical difficulties that people underestimate. This is not going to be as crazy a conversation, but I would say lighting. And again, Jeff has a very simplistic lighting situation.
I'm simplistic all the way, bro. I'm a simple man.
I'm gonna demo this. I'm gonna demo this while Adam talks about it.
Well, yeah, I have no idea. I just have no idea how Jeff's lighting even works in that room. Because when I go over there, it's a C920 webcam, which is the best webcam you can still buy right now. They have a C922, but it's absolute garbage. Like it doesn't do anything that the C920 does, except for make you click 1,000 more buttons to achieve 720p 60, and it still looks like ass at 60 frames a second. So just buy the C920 webcam. But it behaves so poorly in low light, and Jeff's room, despite how bright it looks in there, is actually pretty dark. And I still do that. And on top of that, all of his lights are behind him,
are different
which is
colors.
Usually even worse for the C920. Like, it prefers light in front of it. So to this day, it's a fucking anomaly. I still don't understand how Jeff's webcam looks the way it does. It makes no fucking sense to me.
I don't know what's wrong with my webcam. I think my webcam looks perfectly fine.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Well, we're confused.
What I'm saying is I don't I'm confused as to why. Because if I were to bring my light level down to yours, then it usually the webcams either looks like shit or the frame rate drops. Like It's a fucking anomaly.
My shit looks weird on the podcast. I don't know why, but it changes up my color and everything for some reason on the podcast.
Well, I mean,
when I'm watching it back on myself, it looks perfectly normal.
Other than the fact that it looks like you're fucking Smurfs on a daily basis, it's perfectly fine.
It's only on the podcast. When I stream, it's normal. When I'm looking at myself right now, it's normal, and I look over on the stream, and there's like a hint of blue.
On the stream, you still look like you're fucking Smurfs. It's just that the webcam is smaller and maybe it's less noticeable. But you've been fucking Smurfs for years. You're Papa Smurf.
Okay.
You are the Papa.
Ironically, when I was over there like a month ago to do retro verses, I changed the white balance on the camera for the recording. And then that night when we did the fucking podcast, about 30 minutes in, you fucking noticed it and you put it back to being a fucking Smurf. And I was sitting here going, what the fuck? Like, it was finally
shit,
like
bro.
white balanced.
Listen, you want to fuck with your shit at your house? My house, this shit is simple. And I get actual work done. I just put shit on. If my voice is if my voice isn't as loud as the fucking gameplay, we deal with it, and we just keep the show going. The show must go on. That's the way I put it.
I'm gonna join.
The show must go on.
Jeff, here we go. There we go. We're gonna make it. We're gonna match it up. I'm gonna join you now. It's not gonna look like it here on Skype. You gotta wait until it's on stream. But I'm gonna join you.
There you go. Boom.
We're all fucking Smurfs now. Now we're talking.
Yes.
Now this looks normal.
Yes.
There we go. There we go. But yes, lighting can be totally a bit of a bitch. Mostly because everybody has to use a webcam. There are a lot of like fancy folks using DSLRs as webcams now for their streams, and it looks fantastic. But you really do also have to get amazing lighting for DSLRs to work.
And it's also really bad for DSLRs to run them for more than 30 minutes at a time with their video sensor running.
Exactly. So yeah, go out and buy a C920, and then you don't need to have a softbox and all sorts of crazy shit. Just make sure that there's a reasonable light in front of you.
Are literally $30. That's it. They're $30 light panels. You can change the balance. That's it. They're just clamped to my monitors.
I have a $20 light stick that I have behind my monitors, and that's about as complicated as mine gets.
I got a free 99 setup. I just turn on.
Well, you're not.
lights.
You don't have a green. You're not using a green screen. So I also needed to have something that lit up.
Green
screen or whatever.
I did have to have something when I had a green screen up. I had to blow out the back of it. But beyond that,
it's a little,
that's the show.
A little complicated at that point. But otherwise, yeah. I'm gonna say the one that it's becoming more and more widely known. The fact that streamers usually
streamers use soft boxes and stuff nowadays. Garbage.
Well, I'm not talking about the lighting thing now, but usually they have to, or they have to. I'm not gonna say they have to, but they have to make the choice before they go live every day. Am I going to play a game that I want to play, or am I going to play a game that's popular on Twitch and try and attempt and hope that playing a popular game is going to grow my channel? And that's probably the most common issue, quote unquote, I guess, that streamers would have, because it's the shittiest part if you're trying to do it as a job. It's the shittiest decision to make. It's the, because just playing a popular game doesn't necessarily mean that you're suddenly going to blow up and just bring in a whole bunch of new viewers. You're just giving yourself a shot at gaining viewers because of the popularity of the game in the first place. And it's not always great, because the trade-off is some people are good at hiding the fact that they hate the fuck out of the game they're playing and can still be entertaining, as a streamer. And other people, like me, can't hide it and just lose their goddamn mind,
just like,
and can't do it. I'll sit here and be like, I'm sorry guys, this game is shit. I can't play this game.
3. You played that game because you loved it.
Whew.
And he got paid.
I played it because I got paid by you.
Yeah. Give me that kind of money. I'll fucking play Final Fantasy 13 all day. Every day.
You say that, but oh my god, let me tell you something.
No, I actually mean it. No,
it's rough.
I actually mean it. It'll be sucky,
It's
but
rough.
trust me, I can fake it. I've done it many times before. You know why? Because money. Money.
But yeah, that's definitely the I think a pretty common one for sure.
Oh, that's the worst, dude. That's literally the worst. And the worst part about it is if you want to grow or you want to be relevant, you have to suck it up. You have to suck it up, and you got to do it. If not, face the consequences. And that's how it is. I don't know how many people have said, dude, you need to play this player battleground underground shit. You need to get on it, bro. Get on it, man. It's a big thing, man. You're gonna just do what you did with RuneScape, League of Legends, and all that shit, man. Just turn on the auto-tune and sing, bro. Get into chainmail and do a master exploder, and you're going right to Reddit, bro. It's a one-way ticket to fat stacks and all that fun stuff. But there comes a point in time where you're just like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
okay.
I'm good. I don't want to fake this one, boys. I'm going to take a knee. I'm going to wait for Brood War. I'm going to take a knee. I'm actually going to play a game that I love. I'm going to take a knee. Because eventually when I leave Player Battleground Unknown, all the haters are going to be like, you motherfucking sellout, bitch. You fucking left Player Battleground Unknown for Brood War. You sellout.
Where's RuneScape, Jeff?
You sellout, motherfucker. It's going to be a
Where's RuneScape?
It's going to be a Reddit post. Took our money and left.
Last time I was here, you were playing RuneScape, and I'm just wondering,
fuck.
when are you gonna play RuneScape again?
It's just the way it is, man. It's just what happens, dude.
What happened with RuneScape, Jeff?
Listen, stop it. Stop backing me into a corner. I'll finish it, okay? I'll finish it.
Did you get your cape yet?
Oh man, I'm telling you, dude. And then they just and it's poor me though. First world problems, man. First world problems. But you know what? For me, I can get away with that shit because I've already have an established, community.
Yeah, exactly.
But for people that are actually new, like, it is no laughing matter. It is straight up, you ought to play those games or you ought to never have a chance at making yourself known, period. There's zero probability. Zero. Not even a 0.001. It's zero. It's done. It's ogre. So.
All ogre now.
Your
it's
dreams
all
will be
ogre
dreams.
now. It's all ogre now. I don't know if there's anything else I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, I think the one that not a lot of people think about necessarily is generally speaking, even if you're just doing like a turn it on and go type shit, is how much involvement there is with just learning how to use all of the shit that you use to stream. So learning even just to find out the basic shit about, I mean, like Jeff could vehemently, I'm not even pronouncing that word right, I never can, but vehemently, back that $129 Steinberg, whatever, and so you could go to another stream and there'd be another guy with a $129 interface that is
the Behringer or whatever, the Mackie.
just pumping it up, or like everybody's using the Behringer fucking X122Y3B USB whatever fucking mixer, and they could do the exact same pitch, and so it's an easy thing
I'm
to
gonna
say,
sell it.
and then
I'm gonna sell it over them every day because I'm a better salesman, and I'm telling you definitively. I mean, you can hear it. You can literally hear it, and it's the click. It's a click of a button. That's it.
Yes,
it's a click. It's the click of a button. It's the click of a button. You put you put me. You put Adam. You put Tabin. You put 3 other streamers. All different products. I'm outselling all of you. I'm outselling all of you. It's that simple.
Oh, I have no doubt you will outsell all of us, but you'll be wrong.
Okay.
But you will sell the most units.
You think so. You think so, but you're wrong because I actually do this and I know the demographic and I'm telling you what the best bang for your buck is. That's it. I'm telling you you're wrong. Definitively.
The best bang for your buck is don't buy a fucking XLR microphone. Yeah. That's what Adam says. The best bang for your buck is don't even fucking bother. Period.
I think it's a good choice. I'm with you. If you're on a serious budget, like you can't spend an extra $100 to get the mixer. If you only it's a microphone, then sure, yeah, get a USB microphone and USB it. But in terms of a mixer here, to be able to hook up all your stuff, have the ability to grow your stream with this thing, and have everything at the touch of a buttons, at the touch of your hand, and then also have that ability to plug in your headphones as well and have that extra sound instead of using your onboard sound card, this is by far, it's almost as cheap as it gets. It's almost as cheap as it gets. So yeah. I'm with you though. If your budget is $150, just buy a USB microphone. Sure. But I mean, if you're thinking a USB microphone and you're looking at a $400 USB microphone, then I would suggest getting a $150 mixer and a $150 or $200 microphone, XLR, whether it's condenser or dynamic, like you said, depending on your room. That's the only decision that you'll have to make. But yes, I'm with you. But USB is kind of shit, man. USB is kind of shit. You're gonna use it for a while, and then you're gonna be like, "Fuck, I need an XLR microphone because USB is garbage."
No, it's just my suggestion is totally, if you're going to do XLR, there is an 80. I forget the name of it now. I'll have to go look it up. But there's one, no joke, like $80. I think it's $60 in the States, for God's sake. Like, it is dirt cheap, and it sounds perfectly good. Then you grab one of those, grab an interface, and off to the fucking races you go. You are not going to get a dynamic mic for any budget, period. It doesn't exist. Like,
at best, the AT2020. The AT2020 XLR version.
AT20 is a condenser.
That's a condenser mic. I said a dynamic mic.
Oh, dynamic. Okay.
Yeah. Like
probably you're gonna get like the Shure microphone.
Like at best,
the handheld Shure is
an
the SM58 or whatever.
57 or whatever it's called. Is probably the
SM58 or whatever. Stupid. I think I have one of those in my apartment.
The cheapest that you're gonna get, and it's not really like it is, but it isn't really like for this environment. But yeah, you just
that's the mic you use when you need to plug it in your camera while you're on site and you want to talk to someone.
Yeah, and you're like putting it in front of somebody's face. Yeah. But but I would say that's probably another thing, is just the sheer amount of shit that you need to know. You have to know your way around software. You need to know,
do the research
if you're not
buy.
somebody. Yeah, if you're not somebody who has the money, like most people, to pay other people to do graphics, for overlays, or whatever else that you're hoping to use. Then and you can't do it, then you have to learn how to do it yourself. Like I do all of my own graphics. I did that for years and years.
You have to put in some work. You have to put in some sweat equity.
Yeah. But people don't think about that, right? They don't think, they don't fucking think about it. They just
what people need
see
to
other
do.
People.
What people need to do, honest to God, is they need an internet connection, they need a microphone, they need a webcam, and that's the show. They just need to stream. Because I don't know how many people, Adam included, even after 7 years of doing this shit, Adam is still in this category, along with a bajillion other people. You spend more time setting up than actually working. And that's where that's where the problem is. I don't know how many new streamers I see setting up OBS, which is great. You got to do it to some extent, but they want it perfect. They got Streamlabs going. They've got donation sounds for $5. $10, $25, $50, $100, $1,000, just in case there's a Hail Mary. They've got overlays on overlays. They've got pop-ups. They've got all their description down there. They've got a fucking donation hall of fame, and they still haven't even gotten a donation yet. They've got all the shit set up. They've outsourced people to do emotes and all this other fucking shit, and they're not even streaming. Stream. Keep it simple. Stream and keep it simple. Get that shit when you're ready for it and add it slowly. You don't need to go from 0 to 100 overnight. Trust me. People like you when you're on the grind, man. People like you when you're fucking raw, when you're not as good and you're not as prepped as everybody else. People want to see you. Have some opportunity to grow. Let your community grow with you. Don't go from 0 to 100 right quick. You ain't ready for 100. You're not ready for it yet. You're a fuckboy. You're a fuckboy streamer that has 3 viewers. Start acting like you got some sense. All right? You're not fucking Summit. All right? You don't need all this shit. You're not running a massive channel. You're a fuck boy streamer. So stay in your fuck boy lane and work your way up. And work. Put in the hours. That's something that we haven't talked about that is the most important ingredient to any of it. Fucking stream and do it a lot and have no life. Nothing. Zero. Girlfriend, break up with her. Family, tell them you'll see them in 3 years. Life, over. Stream and don't fucking stop. Don't do it. Because if you do, you're fucked. I don't care what kind of overlays you got. You can have a $1,600 Neumann. You could have the most fucking sexiest setup from Adam Morehouse himself. That'll just, you'll have the fucking consoles like Panic that is higher than his goddamn building in Manhattan. It don't matter. If you don't stream for life, nonstop, you're not gonna make it. That is the hardest part of being a streamer. You know that weekend getaway that your friends are doing downtown? Nope. You know that your girlfriend's bugging you? We don't spend time together. Bitch, don't like the vision? Get out. Deal with it. You're not willing to make those sacrifices? You're not going to be a streamer or an entertainer. That's it. It's that simple. Everything else is noise. Everything else is a fake perception on you thinking you're progressing. You're not. You're not progressing until you grind. And even when you grind, it's not for sure. Because somebody that comes in here, they're going to care if you have a webcam, of course. They're going to care if you have sound, of course. But they don't give a fuck if you sound like this or you sound like this. They don't care. All they want is your ass to be available for them whenever it's convenient for them. And if you're not, get fucked. That simple. Everything else is noise. Everything else is noise. That's it. I just gave you the secret. And when you become famous, hook a brother up. Hit me up with the host.
I lucked out. I didn't get all this shit for streaming. I lucked out because I have people that I work with like, oh, you're getting an audio setup? I'm like, yeah. Like, can we use it? I'm like, yeah. How much are you gonna pay me? Like, we'll give you $30 an hour. I'm like, done.
Mm-hmm,
like, it'll pay for itself.
Justifying. And all I'm hearing is excuses.
Oh,
Nice
but you
gear,
could
though,
play
bro.
that game. You could play that game with anyone.
I
though.
can play
Dude,
that shit, bro.
I got enough bookings.
You could
I got
play
enough
that-
bookings for all this
Hey,
shit
yo.
that's already paid for.
Yo, I got all these
Already
video
paid
games
for
back
it.
here, bro. I think I'm going to open up a little arcade. They're going to pay me $10 an hour to come down here and play these games. Got a little arcade here. I'm going to collect coins. Yeah. I'm going to justify that.
I already have all the
It's like,
bookings,
nah, I
man.
just wanted the
They
shit.
already-
I just
all
wanted
good.
the shit.
I did just want it.
I
But
just
then people
wanted
are
the
like,
shit.
yo, if you have it, can we use it? I'm like, yeah, but you're going to have to pay me for it.
I got to
Like,
call you guys
I'll
out
use
on it, bro.
$30
I don't care. I'm just in that kind of mood tonight. I'm going to just call you out on your bullshit. Because it feels good. It feels good. Woo!
Fair enough.
Just gave them the
We're
secrets,
going on.
boys.
Wow.
Stream and don't stop. Stream and don't stop. And don't start unless you're willing to make the sacrifices. That's it. Don't stop.
Adam's face looks like it's about to implode.
I don't know. There's been
But it's
several
the
points
truth.
tonight. There's been several points tonight. I've just been holding my tongue, just like, don't fucking do it. Fucking.
We're
shut
going
the
on. We're
fuck
going
up.
on. We're going on 12:30, which is like way over our usual time. And I'm just about to get dinner, and it's like these guys are going at it.
I'm still going. I'm ready to go fucking head to head tonight, boys. I got my big boy pants on. I'm feeling fucking. I'm ready.
Adam's
to
not
go.
even equipped for this fight. He's not even wearing
He's too
pants.
tired
Jeff. What are we
for it,
supposed
man.
to
He
do?
didn't get enough sleep last night. He didn't get enough sleep last night, and I'm on a fresh 8 hours. I'm on a fresh.
All right, I'll bite. You're only partly fucking right. God damn it.
All right.
You're only partly fucking right.
Let's go,
here's-
bitch.
And here's why. Here's why.
Let's
you
go.
have the case. You have the case of the fucking survivor syndrome, motherfucker. You are the motherfucker that the plane crashed and you survived and everybody else died, and you looked around and said, "You guys are a bunch of fucking bitches. I fucking made it. Why couldn't you fucking do it? Come the fuck on. Pull up your boots, you son of a bitch. Get your shit together." That is like your entire fucking mantra, this entire podcast has been on the basis of the shit that you have already done, and so you have applied it to everything else, and it's one of the biggest fallacies of people who make it. It's one of the biggest fallacies of people that make it, for example, in, like, music. And somebody's like, well, shit, I put my shit up on YouTube and now I'm goddamn Justin Bieber and you can do it too. No, you can't do that shit. You are not going to be the next Justin Bieber. Go and sing your heart out. Try and be Tay Zonde or whatever his fucking name is. Chocolate Rain. Breathe away from the microphone so they can't hear you fucking do it. It's not going to happen. You know why? Because it doesn't happen to everyone. It is the same application of the 110% to achieve more than mediocrity. Is that the fact is, and this is the hardest life lesson, is that you've got fucking marshmallow children right now. And I hope you don't teach exactly this message to your children, because they're gonna end up.
You're fucking right, I am. You're fucking right. I'm gonna teach my message to my children.
You're gonna be like, are you gonna be the parent that's like, you can be whatever the fuck
Adam,
you want
you
to
know
be?
what, motherfucker? You know what, dude? Fuck you,
Is that
bro.
you?
I
Is it gonna be
fucking
it?
put in, dude. I fucking worked for this. All right. When you weren't fucking grinding, I was grinding. This didn't happen overnight, brother. This
Why
is
do you
fucking
think I'm
hard work.
accusing you?
So don't hate on me. Do not fucking put words in my mouth. No. Don't give me the fucking shit that people say when successful people go, if I can do it, you can do it. Don't fucking play that mantra. This is hours of fucking work and dedication. And that's what I said. And after every single time I've said it, I said it's not guaranteed. I've said that a million times. It's about putting in the fucking work. And if you want to make it as a streamer, you don't show up for 6 hours. You don't spend 30 hours a fucking day working on your sound and tweaking little stupid fucking shit. You stream. That's what you do. All that stuff comes secondary. It's like that in anything. It's just the way it is. That's just how she goes. So don't fucking play that mantra bullshit to me, and don't tell me how should I raise my children. I'm going to give them the same philosophy that I do. You get what you put in. It's that simple. If you don't put in the work, you don't receive, unless you're lucky or you're handed shit. That's it. I don't know how hard it is to figure that out.
The lesson is, you can put in a bunch of shit, and sometimes life isn't going to give you anything
fail.
in return.
Oh my god, no shit. You don't think I've had failures?
It's
of
not
course.
about failure. It's not. I didn't even say failure. I didn't say you put in a bunch of work and you fail. I say you put in a bunch of shit and life doesn't just hand it back to you. You can put a bunch of people in the same place and have them put the exact same amount of work in, and not everyone's going to be handed the same fucking cards at the end of the day.
Of course. It's life.
Everybody could go to work. Yes, exactly.
It's life.
That's just it. So that's why the most dangerous statement in the world is you can do whatever the fuck you want to do if you put the work in.
Within reason. And you can go back and you can listen to everything I say. If it is something where it is feasible, it isn't unrealistic. You're not going to go, you know what? I'm going to become a doctor. You know? No, that ship has sailed. I'm not going to become a doctor. But I'm saying, if you put in the work and you make the sacrifice, you can literally do whatever you want within reason. So don't hate on other people
not true.
When they have done something.
That's just flat. I'm not hating.
Okay. Maybe for your reality it isn't true. All right? Maybe for you, for your perception, that is not true. Okay, sure. Yeah, sure. If you want to be an actor and you're fucking terrible at acting, yeah, okay. You got to have some kind of talent. You got to have some kind of ability. You just can't go out of nowhere and say, oh yeah, I'm going to go fucking do Panic's job. No, of course not. I got to have preparation. I got to go to school. I got to do those things. It's just the way it is. It's all within realistic, and it's got to be obtainable to be able to do it. And then you just put in the work. It's really quite that simple. I know. It may not seem that simple to people that don't have that type of mind frame. It's hard for me.
You can't just put in the work. It doesn't always. You can put in the work and still nothing will come of it.
Of course,
this is my point.
Even within reason, within boundaries, everything is set. Everything could be set for success. You could do the work. You can be completely right on everything, and it still just won't work out.
Everybody would be doing what they want in life if that was the case.
That's just how it is.
You can't like it's just it's
You
not
can do
even
everything
about
right.
failure.
It's still bomb.
It's just not
Yeah.
and that's not failure. Not being able to accomplish it does not denote failure inherently. It can also just be that it is literally out of your control. Shit happens and it is robbed from you. That happens to people in life. So you have to be able.
So where were you robbed? Where were you robbed?
Am I even? Did I even mention that
I don't know, because it seems like you're speaking for a lot of other people, and I'm speaking on my own behalf, and you seem to have a problem with my own when I'm saying it on something that I have gone through. That's why I speak from the heart, because it's the road that I've walked. I'm not talking about what other people walked. Somebody asks me a question, I'm going to give them an answer. I'm not going to tell them what I think I want them, what I think they want to hear. I'm just saying the road that I walked. That's it. I'm not lying about anything. I'm not pretending. I'm just saying how it is. So I don't know how you have a problem with that and why you're offended. I don't get it.
I'm not offended. What is your victimization play here for everything? Everything is an attack on you. I don't even like say that.
You just
I'm
literally.
saying
You
what
just
I said
literally
was in the beginning was that this mantra that you're giving is a dangerous thing to do, and I personally don't think that it is 100% correct. And then you turn that into me attacking your entire life and relating it to my entire life.
I didn't say my entire life. Yeah. Okay.
You just, like 30 seconds ago, you just said that it was me attacking how you did your entire. I need the fact that you came up out of it, and that's why you speak from the heart. This is what you said less than a minute and 30 seconds ago.
Okay.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that the dangerous thing, and why I don't personally agree with saying that, just go and work and everything. As long as you put in the work, it's going to happen for you.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. If you can find me saying that, I'll eat every fucking word I've said this whole podcast. In fact, I make sure to tell every single person that it's still not guaranteed. Success is when preparation meets opportunity. And if you're not constantly working towards a goal, you're going to miss the opportunity to be successful. That's why people perceive opportunity as luck. It's not luck. It is when preparation, constant preparation meets opportunity and you seize the moment. You are not going to get that lucky host. You're not going to get that lucky person that supports you without grinding. That's simple. That's how the world works. You can use that in any facet of life. I have never once said, you go in and put in work, you're guaranteed to succeed. Everybody can do it. Just go do it now. Obviously, it's a lot harder than that. Obviously. Opportunity is not luck. Opportunity is when hard work meets when the preparation meets the opportunity, and that's when the success happens. If you're not working, how do you ever have an opportunity to do anything? How? I don't get it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wired differently than you. I don't know. Maybe you just don't understand where I'm coming from and why I get so passionate about it. Because maybe you just don't think like I think. And that's okay. That's fine. But I will impose those things on my children for sure. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
In regards to streaming, which is where this all began before we went off on an absolutely astronomical tangent, there is no doubt that you have to put in an unholy amount of hours to attain anything. But in my book, and this is not to apply my specific way in which I do things, because I enjoy going way too far with learning about encoding and doing all of my own graphic work and fucking with audio and learning about that shit, because that's just what I do in my off time for shits. And sometimes, occasionally, it crosses over into streaming where I knock 2 hours out of my stream day because I've run into a problem. My thoughts on where streaming is right now is that just putting on the stream and just slapping shit on and just fucking going and putting in the work is absolutely a valid way for people to do that. But in a market that is now as big as it is, and not what it was when you and I started, there is a first impression thing that is far more valuable now than it was 5-6 years ago when you and I started, because there are so many people doing this and there are so many people set up. It is fair to say that not every viewer that comes into your stream cares if you have a border around your webcam, or if you have something that pops up when they follow you, or if they have a donation notification, or if they have a general overlay, or if there's a description box below that doesn't just include a stripped off of Google PayPal PNG that they fucking just slapped in there and attached their PayPal account to, and that's it. There's truth to that, to be certain. There are just as many people who will write you off if they show up and you have 3 people watching you and they show up to your stream, and unless you are a gifted entertainer who is turned up to 10 and play to their what they find entertaining, then the first impression is you have 3 people and your stream looks and sounds not so hot. Not necessarily even shit. It's not even like the guy with the fucking Logitech on-desk microphone sounding like he's at the Burger King drive-thru. But there are people that will see that, say, oh, there's a reason why nobody's watching this shit, spend 5 seconds there, turn around, and fucking go. That doesn't mean that I'm saying spend 30 of your 70 working hours that you would dump into, or more, depending on whatever you consider you want to in a given week for work, dedicated every single week to producing a stream that is of the fucking gods themselves. But what I'm saying is that in the market as it stands today, you have to do a little bit more unless you are a flat-out gifted entertainer that is enough to carry it by itself. Because let's face it, there are major streamers that are printing their own money that have, it's not even a C920. This shit's like that fucking, pre-C920 Logitech camera that they don't even have on their monitor. They have it sitting on their desk, 15 feet across the room, zoomed in 5 levels so you can count every goddamn pixel on it. They're using the microphone on that webcam. They don't even have a USB mic, and they still have 5, 10, 15,000 people watching them because either A, they're a super gifted entertainer, or B, they were just kind of, I don't know. I'm guessing they're a gifted entertainer. That has to be it, because I don't know why anybody else would watch that.
The
right?
reality,
but the
reality is streaming isn't for everybody. Just like music isn't for everybody, and acting isn't for everybody. Just because you have a passion for video games doesn't mean you're meant to do this.
But there are, for example, there are a shitload of not even B-list actors. There are a shitload of C, D-list actors that make, in the acting terms, they only make, oh shit, I only cleared 150 grand this year. Shit, fuck me. That aren't, super incredible at their job, but they have a tiny bit of all this extra shit that isn't necessarily just their pure acting ability that gets them there, and it's still perfectly reasonable. And in the streaming world, there are a shitload of people, the majority, that fill up that space as far as people that go on to make any kind of appreciable money as a streamer. That's the majority of them. They aren't the super entertaining people, because if they are the majority of the time, they end up getting to a place where they're making more money because they're an entertaining person. People find them. So
you're in the entertainment business.
You're in the entertainment business. So what I'm saying is, for a lot of people, and this must be something for me. I'm not a naturally entertaining dude, but I put my stream together so that at the very least, People like listening to my voice, so I make sure that my audio sounds good. People like to, they comment on how good the stream looks because I put in the time to make sure the stream looks really nice. I don't have a lot of like fucking, it's not Las Vegas when somebody friggin' donates. It's not some crazy shit. It's just you get me playing games and then I write some reviews and I make a reasonable amount of money every single year doing that. I'm not fucking smashing it out of the park. I'm not printing, lyric face money in a fucking cranked thing in my apartment where I can just go buy whatever the fuck I want whenever, but I still
yeah, but you
use,
also
like, $3
you
equipment.
also have the success of what we built. If that didn't exist, you wouldn't exist. That's the thing. With that type of mindset on Twitch, if you didn't have what we had created to fall back on, to have that splash over with your mindset, it just wouldn't be sustainable. It just wouldn't be. So
when I was streaming, I had 12 people watching me. It's not like the hordes of LAGTV people came over to watch me play video games. The peak of my streaming career involved basically nobody from LAGTV because I was playing Hearthstone at the time, and that was it. It's how I got my sub button. Was one of those times where I played a game I didn't particularly like, but I did it, and I got my sub button, and I fucking moved on, and look at me now, ma, with 100 and whatever people that watched me play Skyrim 7 years after the game came out. So the fact is, though, for me, I'm okay with that, but they're all, like, a lot of the reason why, if you ask people that watch me, is because it's just the little shit that adds
Listen,
up.
I'm going to be,
So
listen, I see what you're saying, dude, and I'm with you. There is value to that, but you're overvaluing it. Listen, if you want to lose weight, you don't listen to fat people. You just don't, right? You don't go to a fat person and you say, how do I diet? How do I work out? It's the same thing. You want to be a successful streamer? You ask a successful streamer how to be successful. It works. That's just how life is. You want to do whatever. I don't know. I don't know any other type of analogy I can make. Listen, you can give all the advice you want, and you know what? You give great advice. You do, but you overvalue the preparation of streaming. At the end of the day, the real value comes with physically streaming. I mean, products are so good now. You get the C920, you get whatever microphone. It doesn't fucking matter. We can sit here for fucking 2 hours like we did, talk about what microphone is better. It doesn't matter if you get a USB, an XLR, you've got fancy dynamic compression or not. If you just show up and you put in the work, sure, you want some emphasis on quality. Of course. Nobody wants to go to a stream that's you're just gonna tune in, tune out. But if you legit just have the basics and you don't slave over the prep and you just put in the work, you have the best chance to succeed. That's what I'm saying. And I don't see how I don't see how there is a rebuttal to it. You know, if having a really pretty stream is a streamer's priority and that's the show, I mean, cool. You might get lucky if you're really entertaining. If you're the double threat and you've got a really pretty setup and you're fucking entertaining, if you're Summit, he reaps the benefits of that. But not everybody is the double or the triple threat. You know, it's either you have the X factor or you don't. And now, when we first started out, you didn't necessarily need the X factor. You just need to be present because there wasn't as many people. Now it's just saturated as all fuck. So that's why I always say you give it everything. It's not guaranteed. And that's the show. That's it. I don't have, I don't know what else you want me to say about it. I don't want to make it a heated discussion. I'm not calling you wrong, dude. But I just feel like you just fight the truth so much. I just feel like you just fight it so much. And I tell it to you. And you can point your finger at me and you can say, oh, it's easy for you to say it because you've been there. Well, yeah, it is easy for me to say it because I was there. And I know many other streamers that are there or many other YouTubers that are there or business people, real estate agents, all the same thing. There's an entrepreneurial thing that some people just don't have and just cannot wrap their head around it. It doesn't make them a bad person. It doesn't make them lazy or unmotivated. It just means you're not meant to be an entrepreneur. You don't have what it takes to really over succeed. It's just it. I don't know how else I can put it. It may come off arrogant or facetious or whatever. I don't know. I don't mean it to. I'm just passionate and I believe in it. Because it's like some religious person saying you're trying to tell them that God doesn't exist. Well, fuck you. What do you mean? It's my faith. It's what I believe in. Don't try and push your shit on me because it's working for me. I'm not going to change how I am because you think differently. I'm going to stand up for it. I'm not expecting you to change your mind, but I'm just going to give my point of view. That's what makes this podcast interesting. You think one way, I think another. Nobody's right or wrong. I think we both are right in our own ways.
Somewhere in between.
I go one route. I'm extreme on one side. That's all.
You guys are both on extreme ends of the spectrum. It's somewhere in between what you both said.
All right.
it just drives me wild how quickly sometimes it turns into heated because it's so fast. It's so fast to turning into somehow about it being a blame game, and it never starts out that way at all. But it's just like the hyper defensive.
Well, I mean, because I feel like you attack me a lot, and even though you swing, but you swing it. I know, but it's just the way you said it. Like, dude, it irritates me when you say that it's just that easy and blah 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 because you've done it, but you realize that not everybody's like you, man. It's shit like that. I'm just like, dude, man, I'm just telling you. The path that I walked. I cannot be on this podcast. You don't want to fucking hear what I have to say. Then why the fuck do I give my voice if you're gonna complain about it? You know, I'm just telling you the way it is. I'm just saying I'm just letting it out, man. And naturally people will take your side because I'm always the fucking villain. You know,
that's not even the case either.
That's just how it is, man.
Playing the victim, goddamn.
Well, I'm most certainly not the hero.
Like the successful victimization, it was me giving my opinion which was opposite of yours, so I said I didn't agree with it and I thought it was partially wrong. That's it. There's no need to take up arms over that because like you said, it is varying opinions. That's it.
All right.
And then it just fucking like you do cars 0 to 60 in fucking 2 goddamn seconds.
3.8
for the 3.8. Like, hot damn.
Mommy and daddy are fighting again, boys.
Holy shit. But it's fucking halfway in between there. You have to understand that it takes a shitload of fucking work no matter how you swing it, but there has to be an understanding that that just doing a thing and not necessarily paying attention to the thing that you're doing doesn't accomplish that goal very well.
I know what you're saying, but where you're coming from is a very extreme side. You're making it seem as though like, oh, don't worry about the fuck you have.
That's what I'm saying.
You know,
that's what I'm saying. It's in between somewhere, right? It's not. I wasn't necessarily I never said that my way was the 100% turn the dial all the way over to where I'm going. I was saying that, like I said, when I first said it, I said I don't think that that's 100% correct because it's somewhere else on that spectrum. It's in between those two spots. Nobody should spend the amount of time I do on the shit that I fucking spend. Nobody should do that. I shouldn't do that shit. I understand that. But at the same time,
well, we do have a pretty fire-looking Patreon page, I'll tell you that.
Well, it's pretty fucking dope. But and that shit's whatever, you know, the skills come in handy. But at the end of the day, it's like the equivalent of going to use the gym analogy, since we've already been there a few times right now. It's like going to the gym, and you can go to the gym. You go to the gym 7 days a week. All right? And you can go to the gym 2 hours a fucking day, 7 days a week. And you could only barely understand what the fuck it is you're doing. You're that guy on the internet that somebody took a fucking pocket
using
video
the machine wrong
on like the cables, fucking doing weird, crazy shit. You're fucking like, You're coming up with moves that the guys that made that machine never even thought fucking possible. You're on the Pilates machine making it look like you're fucking humping a dead horse. Doesn't make any sense. You know, you can do that. And technically, you're at the gym putting in a shitload of time, doing a bunch of shit, but you're accomplishing nothing. You might actually just accomplish a torn fucking rotator cuff. You might not know what the fuck you're doing. But if you take some time and understand a couple things. One, going to the gym 7 days a week is inherently dumb in and of itself, and you accomplish less by overexerting yourself than you would by going less times a week. And then learn about how to use that equipment. Not even master it, but just don't try and stick your dick in the hole where the pin goes to stop the bench from falling backwards. That's a great start. You should probably go with that. And then you go to the gym maybe 4 days a week or 5, and you take your break days, and all of a sudden shit's happening properly instead of just going like crazy. So but at the same time, opposite end, you could sit at home and Google and fucking read and do nothing. And you might be really fucking smart and know all that shit, but at the end of the day, you're probably either really skinny or really fat because you haven't actually gone to the gym. You just know how to do all of the shit without actually doing it. So yes, it is 100% a mixture of those two things. It is knowing it and applying it liberally when necessary.
Yeah. But what I was saying was, like, when you're starting out, it's people worry about that stuff too much, and if you just go and stream, those things come in time. You know, trying to perfect donation sounds when ain't nobody donating to you is just dumb. You know, going to the gym 7 days a week is literally better than not going. Whether you know what you're doing or not, eventually you're going to see results. They may come slower, and over the years, you know, I have figured out ways to maximize my time and make the most amount of money in the short period of time over trial and error of making mistakes and figuring out, okay, you know what, if I stream between these times, or I do a plug for this at this time, or how many sponsors can I have that don't interfere with each other, that isn't too much. You learn those things over time. You don't need to be a master of all trades, a jack of all trades at once. This comes with experience. And so you start implementing things. That's why, you know, UFC fighters, they get better over time. They learn more. They get more weapons in their arsenal. They learn from failures and mistakes and losses, and they come back stronger. They don't make the same mistake again. It's when you try and perfect all these things and be perfect before it even starts. It's like you're shooting yourself in the foot before you even get off the ground, you know? And I think that goes with doing anything.
I think, yes, that absolutely applies anywhere. Anywhere.
So there you have it.
I'm
done.
What a fucking roller coaster that was. If you guys ever wondered what it's like when Jeff and I get in a room,
this is it.
And it's late, and we're talking about, like, literally anything other than what we just talked about, and somehow we'll find a way to get to this point. This happens all the time. Constantly.
Happened while I was there.
It happens for like 18 years now. So don't worry. It's okay. Mommy and Daddy aren't fighting.
We'll be okay.
We'll be okay. It'll be just
okay.
fine.
We can handle it. We've been in a lot worse. Men.
It's you know, I've seen Jeff is really good at arguing over nonsense though. Like, I remember the best way I can frame this is Jeff loves to argue. It's my mom said that one day. She's like, Jeff just loves to fucking argue about anything. And it's kind of true, because I remember the one thing that I'll say that I remember is your buddy Teo growing up, and we were at your place. I can't remember which house this was at the time. I actually think it was on my street, or our street at the time. And we were in your bedroom, and we had just finished playing Dragon Ball Z, like, whatever it was that you had, Final Bout. And we were listening to, like, Coldplay, because Teo really liked Coldplay.
Love Coldplay.
And fucking loved it. And at the time, Jeff wasn't a big Coldplay guy. He's sick and tired of Coldplay. And somehow, there was a, like, 3-hour conversation between Teo and Jeff over whether or not Coldplay was worth listening to that, no joke, at one point devolved into a fist fight and then went back to arguing afterwards over fucking Coldplay. Coldplay,
Hey, well,
really?
Well, he is a lawyer now, so you know he obviously probably won that argument, and it's just it's just how it is. He's crushing it, so he must have done something right. See all those prep debates that we had just set him up for the courtroom.
God. It was like, what song was it on? It was Clocks or some shit, and Jeff just was like, "Oh my God, just turn this shit off." And then
I'm willing to debate anything, and when you're attacking my principles, that's when you're gonna get that's when I'm gonna just say, "All right, fuck you then, bro. Let's go, let's fucking go then," because I can play this game. That don't bug me none. I don't catch no feelings. I get heated because I get passionate, but I'm never mad. It is what it is.
That's a lie.
You're
totally
the same way. No, you know what? I get irritated.
You've gotten better.
And I only
you've gotten better about it.
Well, I've just gotten more mature about it. Like now, like, because before it used to affect me a lot more. Now I'm just like, you know what, dude, fuck you. Like, if you don't think the way I think, that's cool. You
used to get angry
it is what
about
it
the
is.
fact that I wasn't getting angry when we would argue. You'd get saltier. The more calm I was, the saltier you'd get.
The thing that pisses me off the most is when you talk down to me in front of people. I can handle it when it's you and me, because then I'm just like, it is what it is. But when we have an audience and you talk to me like I'm stupid, and then you rephrase things because you have a way of talking, and you do. It is what it is. You're a better bullshitter than I am. You have the great ability to bullshit and sound smart. I don't. So if I'm making a thing and I'm getting a little off topic, or I've lost my point or my train of thought, you have the miraculous way of bullshitting and having people agree with your bullshit. And I get mad because I can't penetrate it. Sometimes you're just flat out right, and I lose an argument for sure. But a lot of the time, we're both wrong. We're both fucking saying dumb shit. But you won't surrender, and so you just have a way of talking, and that's what fucking gets me going, and that's what pisses me off. That's when I get mad. Like the other debates, when you have a different point of view on something, that doesn't bug me, because we're human. We can have different. You've been brought up way differently than I am. We both have different stories. So I get that, and I learn from you. But at the end of the day, man, when my beliefs
down to you at all.
Oh, it happens. It happens. You may not think it. It happens, but it's all good, because it is what it is. I'm not saying that you're like that all the time. Absolutely not. You also say really nice things and great things, on and off the camera. But you have a way with words. My way with words is I'm going to talk louder than you, which makes me seem crazier than what I am. And yours is, dude, just relax, man. It's not what I said, bro. It's not what I said. And then I go, oh, you motherfucker. I know you just didn't pull the light talk from me. And then that's how then it escalates.
It's because I don't when I talk.
Adam. You're a Mr. Know-it-all, bro. You're a Mr. Know-it-all. You're a jaded Mr. Know-it-all. And you don't like not being right. And that's okay, man. I love you, brother. You're fucking best friend. I love you like a brother. You're family to me. But sometimes I just call you out, and sometimes I just want to go to bat with you. Sometimes I have victories, and I know I had them, and I just celebrate with me, myself, and I. That's it.
I guess it must be unintentional, because I don't ever intentionally talk down at somebody, because it ruins the entire conversation. It's like people would stop listening to you if you just talk down to them. It's the same as when somebody starts yelling, I just stop listening. I'm like, why are you yelling right now? This is just such a waste of everybody's time.
Because you have a way with words that makes you want to yell at you.
What does that even mean? I have
I don't
a vocabulary,
know, bro.
so I talk down to you?
You have the best words.
I don't know. I don't know what it is, man.
Best words?
I don't know what it. No, you're not that dumb.
That seems so weird. It's like if I just changed my vocabulary, then if I just change my vocabulary, then I wouldn't be talking down to people anymore. I don't know. It just seems like
I'm not saying you're a walking talk down machine, bro. I'm not saying that. Fuck you. Don't make it seem like you're fucking like fucking bad. Like you're a terrible person. That's not it. It's just in the heat of the moment. I feel like when you're losing an argument, you always bring it back, and then it's just like it's like you present it with another question or
maybe I should
or something. I'm like, what the fuck you want me to say, bro?
maybe I missed my call. I should have joined Teo and been a lawyer.
You should have, man. You'd be a great lawyer.
Back.
You're a fucking. You'd be a great fucking lawyer, bro. And you'd have the freshest business cards and the freshest website. Since it matters so fucking much, you'd fucking blow people away when they came to the fucking Morehouse Law. They'd be like, "Oh shit, this motherfucker! Look at these overlays. They got Twitch pop-ups. I'm gonna drop this guy a 20 sheet. It's gonna be great." And then you'd be a smooth talker in the court too. It's a win-win. It's a win-win, bro.
Wait, hold on. I've got to take this out because this is our time. Team, all right, put your hand on the camera for me real quick. This is me and you now. We got to Wonder Twin Powers unite. Real quick. Somebody, you and me, put your fucking goddamn hand on the camera. Join me. Okay. Somebody just said something a little crazy. All right? I'm not going to say who. For posterity's sake. Somebody just said a couple things. One, they just said that we kind of talk down on people that don't make a lot of money. Okay? That's step one. Step two, apparently we come off a bit sexist.
Somebody say that here right now?
Just now.
Yeah.
Just now it happened.
Oh shit.
Both of those things. Both of those things. I want to know how that's even possible.
I don't know. I kind of consciously make an effort because the car that I just bought is pretty fucking expensive. And I know when you drive these sort of things, people have a perception on who you are financially, and usually financially you come off like a douchebag or something like that. So I even purposely, I try not to talk about it as much as I can, but I even purposely make an effort to tell people that it doesn't matter where you're at in life or anything, so that I even more so don't come off like that, because there's nothing more douchier than somebody bragging or whatever about that. When it comes to the sexist thing, go eat a fat dick. Fuck. Go take a fucking tampon in your vagina.
That was dumb.
I can see the money thing. I can see the money thing since Patreon and shit and fucking sell out and stuff. I see that. I get it all the time, dude. There's Reddit posts about me about making money. It is what it is. But the whole sexist thing, go eat a dick. I mean,
the sexist thing's just dumb.
That's just dumb. The money thing, okay.
For me, I'm like, what? I mean, I literally just defended the idea that not everybody is going to go out there and be balling rich for like an hour and a half straight, and I somehow got lumped into you make fun of poor people.
Well, what it is, Adam, and what it is the reality of it is, man, is when people are insecure and they're not happy with where they're at, or they're in a certain situation, they get offended by real talk. No, and it's reality, man. They just get offended. Those people are called haters. And what haters do is they feed off other people, and they hate on other people's successes, and they laugh at their failures because it makes them feel better about their self. And it's just a self-reflection thing. That's why I never get jealous or envious of what other people have. If I want it, I go out and I work for it and I go get it, or at least try and say, hey, I gave it an honest try. It's not for me. Most people, they just don't like hearing the truth, and that hurts. And I get that. And I don't get mad at people for that, because I used to be that way. I used to be that way. I used to be that guy that used to get upset at other people, or used to be like, oh, look at this douchebag. Look at this guy driving a Beamer. He must be a fucking asshole. I bet he doesn't put on his blinkers. I used to be like that, man. Seriously, I used to be that way. And it wasn't until I changed things where, you know, I guess it just comes with maturity. I'm fucking 30 years old, and I'm just getting older. I mean, it just comes with getting older, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, I used to be the same
guess.
thing. Used to be the same thing with religion. I used to say this. I used to get in arguments with you all the time. I used to call you fucking idiot. Like, how do you believe in that shit? You're fucking dumb. I used to say that shit. How ignorant and rude is that? That's the most ignorant thing.
3 months.
That's the most ignorant thing.
Conversation.
You can say somebody has attacked their faith and their beliefs, but I used to be like that. You know, I used to be ignorant. That's it. And coming from a family that's very religious, you know, and it was just an insecurity of my own. And it wasn't until I realized that other people live their lives differently and they're not affecting me, and there's a lot of good that comes with those sort of things, then I'm totally for it. I used to think that way when I was 18, 19 years old, 20 years old. But, you know, that just comes with maturity. And obviously people that just throw bullshit accusations like that, you know, they're just not at that level yet. And at that point, you just don't get mad at them. You tell them to eat a dick and take a tampon out.
I'm not mad,
but
I wouldn't call a
you,
hater. He's one of the regulars and stuff. It's just odd to see. I mean, the sexist thing especially. It's like I don't know where you get sexism here. I guess the closest thing to sexism was when we were talking about women in movies.
Yeah,
and that.
Why? Because I don't find women funny. Yeah, because I don't find women funny.
Or something,
Boo-hoo.
I guess, or something like that. I guess.
Yeah.
But the whole money thing. My God, no. I mean, come on now.
Okay.
For God's sake. I literally just got to a point in my life where I'm not in a car that dies in traffic. Yeah. Like I only just got back out of the hole where I had like $60 in my bank account. I'm not exactly one that's going to be talking down to all the poor people out there really just fucking falling apart. I don't think so. I
feel bad
Final
for Fantasy 13-3.
A lot of generalizations about women, I guess. You want to know my view of women?
Guys, I'm just going to put this in perspective.
Cook me food, woman!
Put this in perspective, boys. I've gotten about 5 hours of sleep this week. Worked a full day. And I got these two big-ass lights in my face for the past, 5 hours?
Just turn them off. Sleep. Jeff and I can carry. It's okay, bro.
Man.
You just have a nap.
Man.
Just have a nap.
I've been intently listening to this.
These podcasts are way too long, man. They're way too long.
I got some food over there that I ordered thinking we'd be done in a reasonable hour and a half later than usual.
Yeah, right.
You know, reasonable hour and a half later than usual. Figure out to eat that.
Here's the thing. Almost all the women in my life are better than me in almost every respect I can imagine. I know very few women that I personally spend time with, whether it's family or otherwise, that aren't demonstrably better as an individual than I am. Women are let's put it this way. If only men ran the world, you know, and not just in the sense of politically, but if women also thought like men, we'd be fucked. Holy shit. We would be doomed. Listen to this podcast. Can you imagine if there wasn't women to balance that shit out? We'd be fucking dead in weeks.
I hate my wife. I hate my mom. I hate my sister. I hate all women. They're not funny either.
Oh my God.
Get in the kitchen, make me a sandwich.
We'd be dead within a fucking week. Guaranteed. I mean, there's nothing. I guess when we've talked about like our list of celebrity women or something, but here's the thing. It's not like it applies any differently to men. You go and do you. You fucking go do you. If you is dressing scantily clad because you're a fucking 13 out of 10, then you go fucking do that. If people are gonna shame you because you're attractive, you know, if you're an asshole, that's one thing. But if you're just doing you because you're attractive, then fucking who cares? Why is that a problem? And then conversely, or not conversely, but to go along with that, why would it be a problem for women and men to take notice and be like, fuck yeah, go get it, you're a fucking smoke show? Like, does that make you sexist because you are incredibly attracted to the opposite or even same sex, I guess at that point? Like, and we talked about having our list of men that we're all like, yeah, bro, that dude's super fucking handsome, but nobody was like, oh my God.
Weird. It is weird that we had a much longer than a woman list.
It's quite possible. Yeah, it's a little bit.
Yeah, that was
I actually had
a little awkward.
I had an easier time coming up with my male list than I did the female list, which could also be part, you know, a little bit misconstrued. But yeah, it's just, you know,
That's just a
man.
dumb comment, bro. That's just.
I'm
not even gonna rebuttal it, man, because it's just so stupid.
I'm
It's
doing
just
it
so
just because
dumb.
I'm talking and I'm tired of shit, and I just stopped caring about time limits. That's where I'm at.
I learned I'm
just
going
like-
to eat before the podcast now.
Whatever. You should
I
be
haven't
doing
eaten
that
since
anyway.
Quiznos.
Oh.
I had lunch at like
Quiznos.
3, so I'm like, I should be good. Should be good. You guys still have Quiznos?
Yeah, we have Quiznos.
Yeah.
We had it today.
Yeah.
Adam
They're
said he hadn't
all-
had it
oh.
since he was like 10. So
Do
Yeah.
they still have the Black Angus steak sandwich?
I have no idea. I only ever eat the Baja chicken.
I haven't had a Quiznos near me in forever. Man. I want
Well,
Quiznos.
Let's wrap
There
it
it
up
is.
there.
I don't know anything else to talk about, man. I think we've.
No, I think we've tackled it.
I think
tackled
we've gone there.
it. All right.
we got in.
well,
we got in
I'm
one.
gonna-
We got in one heated. We got through all of our stuff. We had some drama.
Hmm.
I mean, it's just like
Yep.
it's. I you know, it's.
Mommy
got a
and
little
Daddy
bit of
aren't
everything.
getting a
Points.
divorce.
We're hitting on
We're not
all the
getting a
points.
divorce.
No. No divorce. The prenup
No
is too
divorce.
much. I can't take it. That prenup. That prenup. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. It's another podcast week in the books. I'm going to go and now spend some time editing this mess before bed and getting that up and ready to go. Thank you very much for listening. It'll be fun to see what comments for this one will be like, because
Oh my
I don't know
God.
how many podcasts actually have conversation like that where people just actually just go for it and not just
They straight up go at it.
like, yeah, like nobody. I don't think there's that many people that do it, because I think a lot of people are scared of how they're going to look.
I
or be
do, but that's the
wrong.
thing is I don't fucking care.
Yeah,
Like,
you just
I
gotta
stopped,
stop
like-
caring.
Like years ago, man, when I was just worried about everything, I just stopped. Like, if you don't like me, fuck off. Like, no one's keeping you here, and I mean that. Like, and I don't mean that as in like you mean nothing. Of course, I would love to have every single viewer, and that's awesome, and I appreciate every single one. But if I'm really affecting you so negatively, you know, just don't be here.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I got tired of walking on eggshells years ago, man. After the whole NASL thing, that was it for me. Like, I was pretty much just done. Or like, you know, one of the last like fucking Reddit wars on me where I could just do no right. It's like, you know what, man, I'm gonna stop faking. You know, there's a fake it till you make it. Well, I faked it, I made it, and now it's just like, you know what, it is what it is. People either accept me or they don't. You know, I can say some dumb shit sometimes for sure, and I can get called out on it, and I do. But man, if it really affects people, or if we can't have an opinion and fucking get heated and actually have passion and not do this like, oh, welcome to another podcast here where we're just gonna do everything by the book and have a perfectly good structure. You know, what's the fun in that? There's a bajillion podcasts out there that do that shit.
Yeah,
It is what it is.
exactly. So it'll be
Cares?
fun. It'll be fun. Oh, I don't care. I'm just interested to see how it plays out. For sure. I'm always interested in that shit. There's only ever like 17 comments on the videos now anyway, so now it's, you know, it's a
all
smaller
good.
subsection, you know, as the further on YouTube gets,
We get the
shorter the list
dedicated
gets.
people.
Yeah, the super diehards, for
Mm.
sure. But ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. There's another one. If you've managed to get all the way through this, well, actually, as far as a singular cast released halfway through the week, it's not as long as, you know, not any longer than our old cast were, so you're probably fine. But we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna head out for now. I'm gonna go to this end page here, and I'm gonna assume that this is roughly still correct because I didn't actually check because well, I
see
forgot.
Technics
One
upgraded
podcast
on
down.
us. Something happened here.
Okay.
We got some new Patreon love and
All right,
some bump ups. So
Let me know if there's anybody. Is there anybody at the $500 tier other than Jetrix? I think he's
No.
still there. Okay, so Jetrix still got.
legend.
I'm just gonna
Legend.
assume That well, it has the $100 tier changed. I don't think it has.
There's still 11 of those, 11 to 15.
All right, so we're gonna just guess that all of these are the exact same. So, thank you, Joe McDong, Sir Holmes, Postal Panda, Jamaican Jazz, Adam B, Toad of Steel, Naily, J.A, Derek P, Fry C, and Ice Wolfie. We appreciate you a great deal. You keep the dream alive. And just, in case you didn't catch this already, the current dream, hit that 5K, get the monthly movie thing, and now apparently we're also tacking on the possibility of Dungeons and Dragons. So brace for whatever that could possibly be should we reach it. And until next week, have a good morning, afternoon, or evening. And yeah. Peace.
Bye.